No sound detected. What? No sound? How about now? Can y'all hear me? Mute audio. Uh-oh, that's not gonna work. Let's see what's going on. What's going on? Can you guys hear me? Let me know. Ha ha ha. Looks like the mic is live. Hello, hello. How is everybody doing today? Yo, 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 yo. Okay, Mommy needs to get her jam sauce going. We can hear you. Oh, yay! Hello, hello. Let's see. How do I make this bigger? Because I can barely see that. Oh my gosh, it's so tiny. That's what she's on. Here we go. Does that help? Make it bigger? No, it doesn't make it bigger at all. It's just saying, nice try, Ashelina. Looks like we're live on YouTube. Are we live? I think, have we been live this whole time? I don't know. I'm just gonna get some music going because it's a vibe, you know? I have my workflow. Let's go to Historia. How is everyone doing? Let's go to videos. Oh, that's why. Let's go to here we go. I'm just getting set up, guys. Mama's looking for her tunes. Where are you? Ooh. There it is. I've been really into this one lately. There we go. All right, so we're vibing. Let's chat. I want a little bit more of a lo-fi vibe. Here we go. For readings. Ibiza. There we go. There we go. Okay, so look into this new setup, and it's way too tiny. That's okay. So I'm going to use my tiny cards. It doesn't even matter. It totally matters, you guys. I am going to see how the energy of today is going for people. Okay, let's see. Love it. So we have the Page of Pentacles, the Ten of Swords. Has it been a Ten of Swords day for some people? The Wheel of Fortune. I love that. The road ahead is the Two of Cups. So if you've found friction in your day, if you've felt like, I'm going to be putting my hands through my hair a ton, so I don't know why I always put something in my hair. I just want to touch it. If you are having a moment of friction throughout your day, I want you to understand that that's going to shift. It's going to get better, but you have to make that conscious choice. And from a place of, with this Ace of Pentacles, it's like, I don't know, but it's got to be possible. You know, it's stepping into possibility. It's stepping into that moment where, oh, I can hold on to that. I can turn this into something gold. I can take this and manifest the rest of my day into something that I can say, it wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad day. What's too loud? The music? The music is too loud, honey? How's that? Is that better? Let me know. Because I do see a lot of tarot readers on here with their music, and I'm always like, it's loud. I can't understand what you're saying. So I want to know if you can hear me. Let's see if I move that forward. Trying to keep the mic out of the... There we go. But we're just getting started with being able to shift throughout our day. A lot of people are focusing on the lack, and I think that's because we have a lot of conditioning by this app and so many others. You open it up and it's like, get ready, the grid's going down for 18 months. Get ready, everything's bad. Get ready, West Nile virus. I get it, and I can understand. Hi, Super. The tune is overcoming your voice. Oh, thanks, Fluffs. Okay. Well, that's not cool. We don't want that. How's that? Is that any better? If that's the case, then I'm just going to go back to the chill sauce. Perfecto? Love it. Okay. So I'm just going to turn it to my super chill, super gayness. And I mean that in a beautiful way. Like just pure joy, what gay used to mean. And with this Ten of Swords, I feel like so many people are putting these swords in their back these days. I feel like so many of us, and I've done it too, where I'm just like, I don't know, I don't have any power, I don't know what to do. And sometimes we're making things harder on ourselves because we're at this place. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Seven of Wands. So we're at this place of defensiveness. And guess what the universe does when you're in this space? It's going to match frequency. So the frequency of defense is like, okay, well, we're going to validate your defenses, and you're going to seek ways to validate your sense of defense, of being like on guard. And I get it. Does that mean that we're not going to prepare, that we're not going to have batteries and, you know, possible like generators or water sources other than public? No, it means we can prepare, but we don't have to freak out. Because human beings were around long before the grid existed. Human beings are resilient. And now is the time to make friends, to work in your community, because guess what's not going to save us? Social media. It's not going to save you. It's going to be a great place for people to come and complain and to share stories, but it's not going to be a place where we survive. No. We can find empowerment. We can find ways of surviving, but the true survival happens off screen, you know? And that's what we need to focus on is we are powerful beings. Nobody is powerless. And we've been conditioned to believe that we aren't as powerful as we actually are, as magical, as miraculous even. I mean, I've stopped calling myself an herbalist, and I'm thinking more of myself as a plant magician. Or just a magician in general, you know, because I want the next phase of my life to really activate that magician energy. And what is a magician? You know, as a Native American, magicians can be seen as, you know, sorcerers and that kind of thing. But in this case, we're taking cosmic energy, putting it into something we create that's something real that can be utilized in the real world. That can be a product, that can be a tool, that can be knowledge, that can be, you know, gardening. There's so many things that we can do, and we have access to everything now. Everything. And even if they're telling you they're getting rid of certain things, there are people. If you just go and look up where to find something that somebody who was recently unalived may have somewhere on the internet, where are those books, where are those articles, all that. It's somewhere, because someone is going to preserve it, because we are smart. We are smart. We're not going to rely on libraries and public necessity that we've been paying for years. The system is shifting and we have to shift with it. And that's why understanding that no one does anything alone and that you're not alone. Social media has isolated us to a point where we think that communicating is connection, and it's not. And a lot of people aren't even communicating on this app. Hi, beautiful. Can I go next? Yeah, Celeste. I mean, this is just a general reading of the cosmic energies. If you want to get a reading, honey, it's 22, and you can send it to Mystic Rebels via Cash App or Venmo, and then we can dive in, preferably with a question. You know, I can do general readings, but I prefer to maximize, you know, alignment by aligning you with your goals. And sometimes we need a goal that is outside of what we think is possible. This is not something that I thought I would have been able to do back in the day. We have our own school. I have my clients. We have students. We have an amazing house. We have all this technology, which makes me uncomfortable at times. But there are ways to maximize this life, and we have to apply those tools. And then, you know, I have clients who come to me and they are at a precipice where they're like, I don't like my job anymore. I don't like my life. I feel like I need to move. I feel like, and we can look into why they feel that way. So the question isn't, should they? It's more like, okay, well, is this an authentic, intuitive instinct, or is this fear? Is this shame? You know, are you running away from something that's going on right now? Because how many of us have been like, hey, I just want to move to Europe when we look at the politics here? Not me. Never done that. That's not true. Save the horses. But again, when we're being bombarded by all these things that we're supposed to be afraid of, that we're supposed to be ashamed of, there's so much that we can be afraid of, but most of it is not real. Most of it is not real. Especially when you, would that be okay? Focus on to have a successful month. On how to have a successful month? Sure. Okay, I have about 30 minutes. I'm going to send it through Cash App. I just wanted to know what I need to. Yeah, send it through Cash App, and then whatever question you have. And we can also ask other questions to layer that up. So, you know, what I love to do with readings is you ask the initial question, and I usually rephrase it so that we can get to the root of why you're even asking that question. And if you've ever taken a class from me, you know that I start every lesson with, why do we even need to know this? What is it? And that's how I apply just things to my life. Whenever there's a problem, I have to define the problem, and whether or not it actually is a problem, or if it's me getting in the way of success or happiness. And, you know, I never do that, of course. But with the Seven of Swords, we have to start doing things differently. That's ultimately the shift. So I am also somebody who watches a lot of social media sometimes, and I need to detox a little bit and really just focus on things that when I watch it, I don't get scared. I don't get depressed, and I don't feel like there's no hope. You know, there are plenty of people out there giving us hope, but there's a lot more people who are just trying to hook us through fear and manipulation and trying to sell us something. So, you know, if that's something that you want to buy, if that's something that you can apply, then absolutely. But I don't need a robotic dog. You know what I mean? So can that just go off my FYP page? No, thank you. No, thank you. Would that be okay? Focus on to have a successful month. Absolutely. We can totally do that. Just let me know. I'll let you know when it comes through you. Let's see. You said you'll send it through Cash App. How does this work? It's loading. Here we go. Let's see. What is it? Yep. $ Mystic Rebels. That should be it. Okay. Let me know when you send it, and then we will dive in. But, sorry, one sec. I can't find my card. No worries. No worries. Let's cleanse the deck. I have been there. I have been there. Great Spirit. Let's, oh, this is such a tiny little deck. It's so cute. Let's cleanse the deck for Celeste coming up. And this is just a tuning fork, guys. In the last few weeks, I have created some new products that are on mysticrebels.com because people have asked me for digital offerings for a very long time. And I was like, I don't know how to do that stuff. I don't know how to do it. So I created one and it was massive. And then so I turned it into several different offerings. And now we have rituals and so many other things at mysticrebels.com. If anyone is interested in diving into ritual, you would go to Mystic Rebels and then shop. And under shop, where is it? There we go. Shop new, most loved digital and vibe higher. Right there. New arrivals, digital downloads, Logan's book, all of it's there. And, you know, I'm really proud of this because I figured out how to use Canva and then kind of just use the same formatting for everything, but completely different words. And it's been a lot of work. And I'm so happy to bring you guys something affordable as well that will really yield results, because that's all I care about. It's Monica. Okay, Monica, sorry, I changed my username recently. LOL. Oh, okay. No worries, Monica. All right, love. No worries. All inboxes. Just waiting for it to come through. I'm terrible at this stuff. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. It's just new to me. It's just new. So before we get started, Monica, I haven't seen it come through just yet, hon. Let me know when you send it. We are going to remove some obstacles for what people are experiencing right now, just to confirm that cosmic reading we just did for the collective. Great Spirit, removing obstacles for the collective and that friction we've been experiencing. Embrace, embrace. I love it. You know, and we also have determination at the bottom of the deck. And I think that's really important because so many of us are thinking through the what ifs and we have plans here, but we haven't actually executed anything. We haven't actually gotten the rain barrel. We haven't actually gotten the flashlights, the bottled water. You know, it's always best to prep ahead of time. And right now, what we should be doing is just a little bit. Each time you go to the grocery store, get some bottled water, get some bagged beans and some bagged rice, you know, and just start stocking up a little bit. And what I've done that a bunch of times and I end up just eating that food. I gotta stop doing that, but it just turns into being groceries. I'm like, oh, I need beans. Okay. But I'm going to start setting it aside so I don't keep doing that. You just sent it. Oh, awesome. I just got it. Great. But embrace is really about, it's not necessarily about surrender, but we need to embrace the plan. We need to embrace step by step by step and not overthink things. We need to trust ourselves and just embrace the moment. There is so much good in this world that we need to acknowledge. And I think once we shift that perspective, everything will change. All right, let's look at Monica. Monica, and we're asking about the month. I was misspelling your Cash App. No worries. So we're looking at how the month will unfold. Focus on to have a successful month. Okay, so most likely we're coming off of what you would consider not a successful month. So how I'm going to rephrase it is, how can you align with your goals this month? You know, because when we think of successful, it's not just about money and success. It's a feeling of fulfillment. You know, that's how I define it. Depends how you define it. But let's align with our goals this month. How can Monica align with her goals this month, Great Spirit? How can Monica align with her goals this month, Great Spirit? Okay. So Monica, I think the first step, and I mean this with love, baby, and I've been there, chill the F out. Okay. Now don't worry. I'm going to say more. But the first card we have is the Hierophant. And right after that, we had the Four of Pentacles. So what that's telling me is we're coming off a month where we've been overthinking and most likely overdoing while simultaneously not seeing the good and opportunities that are available to us, or possibly seeing them and just walking past, because your natural instinct is survival mode, is to get through it, to tough it out, and it's not cute anymore. You know, your nervous system isn't having it. And, you know, I see that we need some foundations of just being rooted at home, or whatever that is to you. I feel I'm not doing enough. Well, okay. So when we feel that way, what is enough? Monica, what's enough? What is there ever enough? You know, what's that song? It's never enough. It's never enough. For me, for me, for me, for me. Yeah. Is there ever enough for you? Like, that's the real question. And why not? Why? Why is it never enough? Why are we constantly overcompensating and simultaneously not acknowledging the things that we do accomplish? Yeah, when we feel we're not doing enough, okay, is the inner talk, I'm lazy, but you're still feeding yourself. You're still working. You're still doing the things, but you're not necessarily focusing on what you do have. You're fixating on what you don't do instead of what you have. You know what I mean? So what we need is we need a shift to the foundations at home, and possibly organizing your home, making your home feel a bit more like it's a place where success can live. You know, a place where possibly doing some rituals, doing some meditative work, or even dancing. Celebration is needed, and it doesn't necessarily have to be because you perceive you had a win. You know, I want you to find a way every day to celebrate your life. Okay. And LOL, so I'm ending work, so tired, and can't save the cats that I volunteered to help. Oh my gosh. I'm too tired and not hitting work metrics, but also not working out. Okay. So I think we need to, as women especially, we need to shift our perspective on working out. If you are overstressed and overtired and your nervous system is depleted, the last thing I would recommend to a client or a student is to get a gym membership. The last thing I would say is you need to work out more. That's what your white coat fucker says to women. And that's not what we need. Actually, what we need is to give ourselves the right to relax and also flow with our cycle. Metrics at work, you know, if they're picking on you about not doing certain things, you know, are they threatening to fire you? Or are you just tired? Do you need to delegate? Do you need to ask for help? Have you before taken on too much? And now you can't meet those metrics because it's been too much for too long, and you're like, I don't even like this. You know, we need new foundations at home. And once we have home as a place where we feel safe, where we feel like we can really exist and not have to come to, like, from work, or are you working remotely or for a business? Do you actually go to work and then come home? How does that work for you? Remotely. Okay. And do you want to join? Can you join to go live? For a business. Okay. I don't know. Can you go live? I would love for you to go live with me. Yes, awesome. And then we can just talk back and forth. So if you send a requesto, how do I do that? Right? How do you do that? If your wishes, multi-guest. Let's see. I think you send a request at the bottom. There is a little person. There's a little purple or red, and there's two little people icons. There you are, Queen. Awesome. I accepted. Hey, Monica.
Hi.
I know you're short on time, so this will be so much easier if we don't have to wait back and forth. So you're working at home, and when it comes to the home, is it kind of a second thought to you? Like when you're done with work, is it just like, I don't want to have to do too much work other than the work I just did all day?
Kind of, yeah. Like I want to keep a clean environment, but honestly, yeah, that is how I view it.
Yeah, and I bet the house isn't a mess. And even if it is, we have to honor when we have phases of chaos in our lives. You know, my girls have been watching more TV today because I'm on my cycle and I'm exhausted, and I just gave myself permission to put on the lowest stimulating content for them. And I just gave myself permission in saying, this is the phase of my life. This is not going to be their life forever. I don't have to judge myself. And I think that that's also what's going on is there's a defensiveness with your actions on a daily basis. You know, if you don't meet your own ideas of metrics, then you criticize yourself or feel like, oh, you wasted the day. And that's a freaking lie. That we're lying to ourselves when we base a good day on how much we got done instead of how relaxed was I? You know, how easily am I falling asleep at the end of the day? That's a metric that we can listen to. You know, did I poop? Did I eat nourishing foods? Did I, think nourishing thoughts? Like, if you can flip the script on the metrics of how you view your life, then you'll start to change, because it's very true that what you think is what you become.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, no, I'm listening. Sorry, I was just like saying, like, yes, I'm listening. Like, yeah.
Yeah. When it comes to work, like, are they putting pressure on you on a daily basis?
Honestly, it's just pressure in general, dealing with people. Like, I get pressure from the job itself, what I have to do for it.
Does
Um,
work just feel like pressure in general?
yes.
Okay. Does life feel like pressure in general?
When I'm not working, no.
Okay. So let's look at the relationship to work and the home. So there's a feeling of like being glad that you're working from home, but I feel like you take a beating at work, not from bosses, but from the people you engage with. With the Knight of Pentacles, you're constantly having to offer things to please others, constantly having to do things to please others. And I feel like with strength here that at the end of the day, you're a bit drained, like it's customer service that you're doing, basically, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It,
So are you dealing with difficult people, like difficult situations, high level?
pretty much, yeah. It's entitlement, because everything that I deal with
Mm-hmm.
is, it costs thousands of dollars. Like, the reservations that people make, so
Okay.
each reservation is thousands and thousands of dollars. So
Wow.
there is like pressure to stay within like a certain amount,
Mm-hmm.
but then also that amount I feel like isn't always realistic because they're so expensive. Like, we have to give more, and
Mm.
I get like stressed because I feel like I can't do both at the same time. Like, I can't get a good review from the customer, meet the metric, and then not give them any money.
Okay. Um, with this job though, there is a piece of you that feels more comfortable. Like at the end of the day, with what you're getting from the job, despite the stress, you're comfortable, but and it kind of feels like you're your own boss. You don't have to check in or talk to your boss too often. Don't have to have a rundown. You're not having to deal with more of a corporate infrastructure on a daily basis. You know what I mean? Um, which is great. It gives you a sense that you're in charge, but then these people kind of knock you down that peg or two. um, and not everyone's bad, but because your job is basically to smooth things over, sometimes you do it from a place of, I don't want them to be mad. I don't want them to leave. And let me tell you something about difficult people, because I worked for celebrities. I worked in hospitality. I've worked for people who are some of the richest people on the planet. Some people are difficult because they want to see how much they can get out of you. And if you present yourself as someone who just wants to make them happy, oh boy, they're going to make sure you make them happy. And sometimes that means that you feel this big and you have to give them way more than you thought was necessary. So if you can have a little bit more authority in this job, you know what I mean? A little bit more power, not let it go to your head or anything like that. So let's do a quick role play, okay? I'm a disgruntled, super rich client, okay? I'm gonna call in. Go ahead and ring, 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 or whatever. Answer. How would you answer?
Yes. Hi. How can I help you?
Yeah, hi. I just stayed at one of your places. I spent $5,000 for this shitty place. It was so dirty. I put my finger on the table and there was so much dust. I'm disgusted. I feel like I have bed bugs now. What are you gonna do about it?
Okay, I'm really sorry to hear that. That's definitely not the experience that we would like you to have.
Okay, I want you to pause. First thing we're gonna do, we're gonna slow down. Okay? Because they're coming at you at 1,000. They're coming at you like, da-da-da-da. They're trying to get a reaction out of you. Have you ever seen The Devil Wears Prada?
Yeah.
Okay, I want you to watch that tonight or some night this week. And I want you to watch Miranda Priestley. She doesn't react, okay? She's very soft-spoken, and you don't have to do it exactly that way. But we slow down. Like when my child has a tantrum, I'm not meeting her energy. I'm not saying every once in a while, I'm like, oh, fuck, give her the toy, you know? And that's not helping the situation. That's just numbing them out so I don't have to deal with it, you know? Instead, it's like, that's really unfortunate that you feel that way. That's not our standard. What exactly would you feel would make this right? So instead of offering them anything, you ask them. And then, so it's basically like bargaining, okay? These people respond to feeling like they're being catered to, but when you also show them that you're not a dum-dum, and I'm not saying that you are at all, but when we come, because I was a personal assistant, and when they would yell at me, I'd be like, oh my God, whatever you need, I could do it right now, and I would end up working 12 extra hours. You know what I mean? Because it's kind of like, why would a rich person do that? Because they can. Because we let them. So we're going to have a bit more of authority so we're not constantly drained. So you're not having a trauma response every time you're trying to please a client. You know what I mean? And so let's try this again. And I'm going to lay into you this time. And I want you to do me a favor. I want you to take a deep breath before you say anything. And then I want you to speak. So say I'll pretend that I'm you. So it's like, no, what are you going to do about it? I'm very sorry that you had that experience. That's most unfortunate. I would like to make this better. What in your mind would do that for you? And then they have to think, okay? They're no longer in fight mode. They have to think. The brain doesn't work in a logical way when we're angry and aggressive. So we want to pull them out of that state and make them think. We're not going to say, well, I can offer you this right now, da, da, da. And it doesn't matter what they say they're going to offer. We're bargaining here, okay? So where they start, we go under. Well, I cannot do that, but to make this right, and again, I'm very sorry for your experience, we can do this. And that way, they're being validated for the experience, but you're not losing metrics. You're not having to give more. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So let's try this one more time. Ring, 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 ring.
Oh, hi. Thank you for calling. How can I help you?
Yeah, hi. Okay, so I need to talk to someone immediately about what's happened at one of your locations.
Okay. Yes, I'm here. How can I help? Oh my gosh, sorry. Can I do that again?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we're gonna slow it down. And I want you to think of each person coming to you like a toddler, okay? So you have to get low with your voice, and we're not pacifying them, but we're slowing the energy down. We're bringing it to a calm center. I can hear you're very upset. Like, we validate a child, okay? We validate the feeling. We're not validating the experience. We're not saying we did anything wrong. We're saying, I can hear that you're very upset. My name is Monica. How can I help you? Okay. And so then they're like, oh, okay, well, this is what happened. Or you can say, can you please tell me what happened? And that's what we do with kids too. So asking questions makes them think, as opposed to giving them things to shut them up, which works in a different way. But then you're like, oh my God, I'm so glad that one's over after, So we want to flip the script. We want to take control because they called you, baby. You're in charge. Okay, so let's try this one more time. And I'm going to keep getting higher and higher. And I want you to think of me as a toddler. Okay? Take me. Think of me. I'm acting like a child, which a lot of these people do. And you're not going to be rattled by me. Okay? Because you're in charge.
Okay.
Okay, let's do it. Ring, ring, ring.
Hi, thank you for calling. How can I help you today?
Yeah, I don't even know how to talk about this right now, but like, I'm so upset, okay? We spent so much money on this place. Like, can somebody help me? I want all my money back. Like, what can we do? What can we do?
Okay, I definitely understand and can hear how upsetting this is to you. Can you tell me a little bit more about what happened and what we can do to make this right?
Okay. First of all, and then they're gonna go off in their story because some people just want an audience. Okay, so you're gonna give it to them. Okay, what happened? Let's talk about it. I hear you're upset. Okay, and then what can we do to make this right? Well, I want all my money back. What would you do to make that right, but also fair to the corporation?
Oh, so we do have a process there, and we have to collect information, and then depending on what happened, we have to address it with both parties.
Okay.
Where the reservation happened, and then with the client reporting it, and we basically make a decision after that.
Oh, okay. So you don't actually determine what happens. So you're basically just taking the information, and then you're able to go between the client. So you act as a go-between with the actual people.
Right. Yeah. I'm basically a mediator, and if
Okay.
there's a situation where a host really needs to refund someone, I can enforce it. Like if there's bed bugs and there's clear evidence of bed bugs, that's something I can enforce. But it depends on the situation. Like somebody said that there was seaweed in the water and they wanted a refund, and that's not something I can enforce.
Okay. So it's really the toddler thing works for you. You're dealing with two toddlers in this case,
Yeah.
You're hearing stories from both sides, and then based on the information that you get to determine what's fair. So you're a median, you're the go-between, but you're creating a balance. You're calming the person down who feels like they've been abused, or some situation was too much for them and they want their money back. And you're also protecting the people who were paid, through the business. So it's less about emotional output for you from now on. Okay? It's more about just taking the information, validating the experience, or validating their feelings, not the experience, and letting them know that you're going to do whatever you can to address this with the seller and come up with a fair, reasonable outcome. Something like that. Like, create a script for yourself that feels authentic and real. But the first thing that you got to do is within the first thing that you say sets the tone for the entire conversation. If you come in with, they hear that they have got you. Oh, she's on the line. Okay. Because some people, I gotta tell you, I've called businesses before, all heated. And whenever I talk to someone who's like, you know what, I'm really sorry about that. Let me see what we can do. Can you tell me more about? I calm down. Okay, great. Because you're not denying it. You're not pacifying it. You're listening, and you're just there as an audience to get the information in order to lead them down the path of resolution. That's all you're there for. So slowing the conversation down, taking control of the conversation and asking questions is going to shift that dynamic completely. Because what I see is this business, it's like you should feel more in charge like this. This is actually your position. You have more control and more power than you're using right now. And that's why it's draining you, because you're also empathic, so you're kind of taking the emotion for the person who you're talking to, as well as the person whose money you're taking out of the pockets. I mean, it's a personal thing for you because you're a sensitive individual. And that's great, but we have to have boundaries as sensitive people. We have to have those boundaries. We have to have that, okay, this is not my life. These are not my family. These are people. I'm going to help them, and I'm not going to drain myself as a result. They do not need every piece of me every time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. That really helps. Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. And good luck with your cats. I hope everything works out. How many cats do you have?
So I only own 2.
Okay.
I do volunteer work, like to help other cats.
Of course you do.
And then, and they contact me and like a group of people, and we go out and help, and I haven't gone out in like 3 weeks. So there's a little bit of guilt from that, but it's because I'm emotionally investing in these people that I should not be emotionally investing into.
Yeah, and sometimes work becomes a distraction as well, and we don't give ourselves permission to go do the things that actually fulfill us, like that volunteer work, like knowing you're rehousing cats. But you don't have to punish yourself for it, It's going to happen. You're going to get back out there and give yourself permission. Like, what, do you need a day off in order to do it?
Oh, I took a lot of days off.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I should be okay now, and this approach is going to help me
Good.
deal with the other half of my day.
And I want you to take that approach with your life in general. When someone comes at you in general, if they are aggressive or if they're trying to get a rise out of you, Miranda fucking Priestley, okay? Like, she gets soft. She doesn't yell. Now, you don't have to be mean like her in the first one, but she's not reacting. So she's hard to read, and that slows people's roll. You know what I mean? When I get frazzled and frustrated, it's much easier to be like, oh my God, I shouldn't have said that. Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. But when I'm grounded, it's like, nope, I said very little, and that's all I should have said. And that's enough, And then shaking it off at the end of the day, taking a shower, a bath, but doing some sort of energetic cleansing is going to be really good for you. And then I do have a guide, which I think would be really good for you. It is a 30-day manifestation guide where you basically do prompts each day, but it's journal work. Like everyday journal work, whether you do it with the stuff that I have or your own self, but just having a place where you can put it all down, get it all out, and feel like you're reflecting on yourself instead of punishing yourself on a daily basis and judging yourself. Loving reflection is I feel like something you really need. So there's a ton of rituals. There's Sweetened Worth, which is the honey jar ritual that includes a guide along with it, and also journal prompts as well. But there's so much that I offer and that other people offer that can give you some sort of everyday practice of self-care and self-awareness that helps you feel like, I'm a good person. I don't deserve to be talked to like that. Okay. You know what I mean? And that goes for yourself too. That goes for yourself. Like, I'm wrong about me. No, I'm a good person. I'm not lazy. I'm doing enough. Credit before critique. You got this, Monica.
Thank you. Could you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you. So I'm gonna download the 30-day guide and the honey jar spell.
Oh, awesome.
I have done those before. I love those. They always come through, and they're amazing. So.
Yes. It's really amazing work. The honey jar is one that I just heard the ritual back in the day, the spell, and I was like, I can do that. And I started doing it for a few years before I taught it, and I was like, you guys, this works. I tapped into something, it's my own magic, but when you make your own magic, life changes. It's really, really magical stuff. And
Yes.
I'm excited to hear how this unfolds for you, Queen.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm gonna download the guide.
Awesome.
And I'll see you guys. I'm gonna join the circle again, so I'll see you guys in circle.
Awesome. We'll see you soon. Have a good one,
Okay,
babe.
bye.
Bye. Woo. Aw, you guys are the best. I put this to the side because during a reading I want to focus solely. I'm adorable. Thanks, guys. I do try. I try a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, if anybody is interested in a reading, it is Mystic Rebels at Cash App or Venmo, and we will dive into your reading as well. And the thing about tarot that I absolutely love is it never lies. It never lies. You know, we lie to ourselves, and that's why I use tarot on a daily basis. That's why I'm constantly like, what should I do? What do I need to do? Why do I feel this way? And Spirit's like, bitch, you don't need to do anything else. You're doing too much. You're thinking too much. Go sit down. Drink some tea. Life doesn't have to be this hard. Like, we're primed to overthink, especially as women, because we came up in this generation, the last few generations, of women feeling like they had to work to earn their worth instead of just existing. You know what I mean? And existing in cycles, understanding that parts of the month, like right now, I'm really tired and run down because it's a heavy bleeding day. I don't mean to brag, but today is not the day for me to mow the lawn or clean the house or do all that stuff, or maybe even fold laundry. I don't know, but I'm not going to judge myself for it because I'm just going with that energy. I'm like, okay, I'm going to listen to my body because I'm 41. Okay. And I'm not in that phase of my life where I can just keep going and going and going and sacrifice my energy and my spirit for somebody else's comfort, even if that somebody else is another version of me that scrutinizes what I do, you know, based on societal beliefs. High tide. Yes. Yes, it's so true. Oh, Jess, awesome. Well, did you want to join, hun? Did you want to join the live and ask your question? Awesome, awesome. And so at the bottom, there's the little people. If you send a request, I'll bring you up. And that way we can flow. Ooh, the ladies are in sync. I'm about to finish mine. Yes, queen. Yes, I love it. I mean, there we go, accept. That should work. There is so much science behind women syncing together. You know, I don't know if you guys have ever read The Rent Tent, but back in the day, women were sent into a tent to be together, to menstruate together, because they were all synced up in the same village. But there's still that resonance that extends, even if we're not living in the same village. You know, if we have the same online community, it can happen. It's amazing. Because of, do you guys know why that is? Does anyone know why that is? What type of questions can you ask? I mean, pretty much anything, except, gosh, it's, what kind of question do you have? Because we're awesome? Yes, but also quantum entanglement, which I think they won some sort of scientific prize, Nobel Prize, or some sort of something, because they proved it. They've proven quantum entanglement. How awesome is that? All right, Jess, what is your question, my love? What's going on?
Everything in general, just a general reading, whatever comes up.
Okay. Do we want to focus? Let's focus on a theme so we can hone in. Do you want to focus on family, love, career, health?
We can do career.
Career? Okay. Let's focus on career, Great Spirit. Focusing on career, Great Spirit. Let's look at the energies with Jess's career at the moment. The energy of Jess's career at the moment. Okay. Interesting. We've got some, I want to say, adorable conflict here because I feel like you're a master at something, but you aren't actually wanting to do that anymore, per se. There's something else that you're interested in. You have this idea, this passion that's more creative, that's more expressive, and it's hard for you to stay grounded in what you're currently doing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does.
Okay. What do you do currently?
Well, I work for a corporate business.
Okay.
I
That makes sense.
I'm right now. Yeah, right now I'm in office actually because I used to be on the floor, but
Mm,
now I'm like in office and computer work,
okay.
just fixing packages, like fixing work orders, making them workable for trades to. It's a trades company. I work with the submarines,
But
so
you've been
I have to
there,
make sure
you
that
have job
yeah,
security,
yeah.
you don't have to
I've
ask
been there for
questions.
almost 4 years. Yeah.
Okay. But what is this new path that you're interested in? And it doesn't necessarily look like it has to be one or the other, but there needs to be an integration of something creative. It can be a side job, it can be a project. What is this thought that you've been having lately?
Well, I'm not sure. I've always been interested in the astrology and the tarot part. I don't know if you still remember me, but I'm the one that has 6 kids. And I used to be with you guys at all times. And when I was pregnant, you gave me a whole bunch of remedies that I needed
Oh,
because I was
awesome.
suffering a lot of like anxiety and stuff. And we
Mm.
went through that tea and everything. It was just awesome. This was like years
Wow.
ago
Oh, wow.
when we
That means
first
so much to
started.
me.
Hmm.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Six
And
kids. God bless you. Goddess
yeah,
bless you.
I know. It's 4 boys and 2 girls.
Wow. And were you living with your family at the time? Or you had family living with you?
No, it's just me, my kids, and
Okay.
my
I'm
husband.
trying to remember, but there's actually been a lot of pregnant women that I've worked with, so I'm
Oh
like,
no, yeah, this was like maybe 4 year, probably. Well, my son is 4,
wow.
and my younger son is 1, so it was about 4 or 5 years ago.
And so you want to get into tarot. I mean, I see that you actually want to become a master at this, at whatever,
So
the idea.
yeah, so
Um,
I ended up buying like all the like the major arcana, um, the ones that you have like your all your trainings. I ended up getting that, and
awesome.
I was trying to, but it's kind of like I feel like it's like something that comes up randomly. Like one
Hmm.
year I'm like asphyxiated and I'm there and I'm doing it, and then another year it kind of like goes away. But like this year has like came up again,
Yeah. And
like the
well,
interest in doing it.
I feel like there's also just a desire for more in your life. It could be that your kids are at that phase where it's not that they don't still need you because they're always going to need you, but it's not necessarily as you don't have to hover as much. You're not as afraid when things are silent. um, and so there's a bit more trust there, and you feel like you might be able to immerse into something a bit more. So in this phase of your life, it's like I want something that's mine, because we also have Empress at the bottom of the deck, which is hello, mama. But also, there's a reason why you have 6 kids. It's not that I mean, yeah, you're fertile, baby, but also that fertile energy is that mothering energy, that nurturing capability, which includes tough love and seeing things from multiple perspectives because that's what is required in order to survive motherhood. Um, so I think that's what will make you a really good tarot reader is you're going to take your own personal experiences as a mother and infuse it into your guidance. So maybe there's some sort of angle of motherhood into your tarot, and plenty of people are starting tarot businesses and not charging right away, but they're developing their practice, they're developing their clientele. We did it. when we first started, um, it was 5 years ago. How many years ago was that? But we started and did Facebook Live free readings or donation readings, which you can do as well because it's still an exchange of energy. And really, every tarot reader, what is needed is to trust your intuition. In our school, I do workshops, I do psychic tarot workshops. And one of the things that I always teach is what's the word? Like, make peace with the idea that you could be wrong. You know what I mean? And also, motherhood gives us that power of like, I don't know if this is going to work. We're going to roll with it no matter what. But when we dare to be wrong, and that just means that we say what we feel, what we're thinking, what comes through right away without overthinking it, without being like, what if that's not right? And every time I do that, the person is like, and there's been some weird random things that I've said, and I'm like, I don't know, I'm getting Mexico and a hat. What is that? And they're like, oh my God, I never told anyone about, I've only thought about that. We were thinking about this in Mexico. I was like, there it is. It's because I dare to be wrong and I trust my tongue. I let myself just speak. And that's part of the practice. That's part of what I teach my students is it's like, we're reading energy. We're not trying to just read a card and then a card and then a card. We're reading the energy of the card. So you want to make sure that you have decks that express different emotions. This is my witchy deck, which is a workhorse of mine. I love it. And then I have other decks that I have this black and white deck. It's one of my favorites. I mean, it just evokes a message right away. And that's what you want. You want a deck or several decks like I have. The limit does not exist.
No, I have a lot of decks.
Awesome.
They're like a lot of, they're more like nature based, like a lot of fairies and
Love it.
stuff like that.
Love
It's
it.
something that it calls me more into. Like I've tried to do like the beginners one. Like I have so many.
Awesome.
But I'm like, okay, I need to understand. Like I've been trying to do it. It's just like it's kind of like what you just said. The thought of even being wrong is what stops me.
That's what I
So
see.
I kind of like overthink it too much.
I think you've stopped and started multiple times also because you feel like you're new at it. You feel like you're still a student. And some of the most brazen things that we've experienced or discovered in this world, in this universe, has been a result of students asking questions. You know what I mean? I did not think that even though I'd been doing tarot since I was 12, I was ready to teach it or even share that I did it. Like I was scared. And then I started teaching it and I was like, God, this just comes from me. It just I have to share it. I feel like there's no better medium than tarot when it comes to personal transformation and like introspection. I just think that tarot is amazing. And if you have that feeling too and you want to share it, you can be transparent. You can be like, I'm new at this, guys. I'm just getting more comfortable. But I want you to start establishing a daily practice, especially because doing tarot for yourself can be harder than doing it for others. But what we're doing is we're just asking for the energy of the day. You know what I mean? And then we can ask for advice. We can ask for where should I focus? All these different things. And that will direct the reading. So it doesn't have to just be a bunch of cards laid out. You can define and set intentions for each card, and then the reading is easier. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you don't have to do a special what's it called? A Celtic cross. When I first started doing tarot back in the day, I always did Celtic crosses, and I'd be like, what's that position? Oh, that's just advice. But it was too much. It wasn't natural. So you want to see how you naturally lay out the cards, and then you can start applying the definition for each position. And it doesn't have to be the same. I'm at a point where I just lay the cards out, but that's because I've gotten to the point where I can read the energies without questioning myself. And everyone can get to that point. It's just like any athlete in the gym. You have to flex that muscle until it just feels natural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think also mommy needs something for herself. you really need something. I see with the Two of Wands and the Knight of Wands, it's not necessarily that you want to get away from your family or anything like that, but when you are, or when you have a moment, you need to give it to yourself, you know?
Which is the hard part because
Yes.
I'm all for my kids,
Of
and it's
course.
kind of like I'm getting into the not feeling guilty that I need time for myself, but it is still like a little hard. And I have teenagers. I have like all ages, and my teenagers are to themselves really, and the ones I really like deal with the most are the little ones.
Of course.
And it's kind of like, okay, well, I want this time for myself, but I can't stop thinking, are they okay? Do they need something? Or did I forget to put the dinner down? Or whatever it
Right.
is, it's like it's always in the back of my head.
Well, here's something that I think will really help you, because in this motherhood journey, sometimes we think a little black and white. And I've done it too, where I think I can't do that because of my kids. What I need to entertain them. I need to do this. Well, I have set up my office so they have little desks for like $30 on Amazon. We got these little tables, and we've just got their crayons, and we print up things that they can color, and they'll sit there in their color and they'll color. Every once in a while it's chaos in here, but I'm still managing to get some work done. I'm still managing to do some readings. And I think we're in a phase, because we're in the phase of Cancer astrologically, people on social media, like if you're doing live readings, if they hear children in the background and they have a problem with it, bye. Okay, you're not my client. You're not supposed to be a part of my village. I'm sorry, and you don't actually have to apologize for it, because most people are like, oh, you have your kids. That's great. Oh, what a good mother. And if you need to pause or step away, most people are going to be like, oh, okay, it's good, you know? Um, and giving yourself permission to integrate your kids into wherever you're working or your space or whatever, and making sure that they know that they can come to you if they need anything, that's usually enough for kids. And then they just do their own thing. And every once in a while, they'll be like, Mom. I was like, yes, honey.
Yes, I know the feeling.
It's not perfect, but there's been times when I've been up here working like for a long period of time, not long, but like maybe an hour, 45 minutes. And I'm like, it's so quiet. Like, what? I'm by myself. This is
Yeah, when you're
uncomfortable.
ADD, that's my thought. I'm like, oh, it's too quiet in here. Something's going on.
And I'll go and I'll look, because they're just around the corner in the play area. And my daughter, who's now 5.5, she'll look up and like, we're fine, mommy. We're just playing princesses. And I'm like,
Oh, that's so
okay,
cute.
okay. If you
Yeah.
need anything, I'm right here. Do you need anything? Can I get you anything? And there's that, like, it's hard to immerse. It's hard to do your work and make it just yours. So I get that, but you need it. You need to find a way. And I have my money bowl. I have a shelf in my kitchen right next to where I cook, and there's not a ton of room, but I have that. And there's my money bowl, my tarot cards, and I have my owl and some dried flowers. And that's why I do my tarot readings every morning. And I don't have to dress up. I don't have to, there's no pretense. It's just I get some water or my miso soup, and then I do a daily read. And that grounds me enough. I don't have time for a whole ritual. I don't have time, because within 5 seconds, my kids are like, can I have a banana? Yes. Do you want to get yourself a banana?
Yeah.
No. Can you give me a banana? It's literally in front of you. Can you peel it? Yes. But so can you,
Feeling.
right? But then there's going to be one day when they're peeling their own banana. I'm like, do you need me to do that for you? Can I, so you're doing great, Mama. And I think we define ourselves so much by the work that we do for our children that we forget there's so much more we have to give to the rest of the world. And we need that connection. You can join Circle again, and they do group study sessions. Jasmine just started doing group study sessions with tarot, and they do it with astrology. And we have so much in that community that people are able to practice, and then people do workshops with me. I also do psychic workshops as well in there. And the main thing that I teach and help people experience is to just trust their intuition, to learn to trust that piece of themselves that just says, I should do this. because the voice that's telling you this, the Nine of Wands, the voice that is restrictive, that's the protective voice. That's the subconscious that came from a place of survival. That's from childhood. That's from an environment where it probably wasn't safe for us to fully be ourselves, where it probably wasn't safe for us to feel comfortable for too long because some shit might happen. I'm speaking from my own personal experience, but that instinct in you is also from a similar pattern, and that's probably why you overcompensate in motherhood now, because you broke the cycle of your own childhood, but also you worry about doing anything wrong with these kids. And I get it, because I'm constantly like, okay, I should have done this for them today. She can't read that yet. I should be teaching her every day. I should get all Montessori toys, and they shouldn't have anything plastic. Like, there's always something that we can criticize as mothers. I shouldn't have given them hot dogs. It's like, they are fine. They are fine right now. You're doing great, Mom. You're there. That's all they need. They need to know that you're there, or, in one of the rooms, and they can come to you if they need you. That's all they need. You know what I mean? You are doing so great. And you also have the teenagers who can help.
Yeah, they do help a lot. And
Yeah.
that's kind of like where I'm like, okay, well, I also don't want them to feel burdened
Of course.
on helping me, because it's like, okay, am I doing too much? Are they doing too much?
Well,
And it's, we all understand each other.
yeah.
In a way, I always tell them, like, this is our little village. Like, we need to help each other. I can't just consistently do everything on my own.
Absolutely. Mommy needs help. That's wonderful that they're not growing up in a household where they believe that mommy does everything, and then mommy's exhausted and resents them. And, that creates this cycle of we're never enough. That comes from seeing our own mothers or fathers constantly overcompensating and never giving themselves the permission to take a break, to relax. My mother wouldn't sit down for dinner until we were already halfway through the meal, because she was constantly getting up and getting down. And Logan actually every once in a while be like, okay, sit down, I will get it. Like, okay, because my instinct is, oh, you need some? Oh, okay.
It's always go.
Yeah, and it's uncomfortable to just exist and to comfortably do what I feel like I'm meant to do outside of being a mother and a wife. If you don't do it every day, because I feel like you also judge yourself when you stop, when you're not consistent with your practice, I want you to start to allow this practice to be integrated on a daily basis, and it be super simple. Super simple. It doesn't have to be, I sit, I meditate, I light my candles. It can literally be a deck in the kitchen or wherever you spend most of your time. I'm always cooking or doing dishes, so it's in the kitchen. Yours can be in your laundry room. It doesn't matter. But this is your personal practice, and you need it. You really need it. And as far as creating a practice for other people to experience, for you to do readings, that can be whenever you feel like you want to do it, until it builds into something, until people are like, where's Mama Tarot, or whatever your name's going to be, whatever you want that handle to be, that'll come in time. But it's the confidence that you need to develop now, and the trust in yourself, and also start to feel like you can step away a little bit every once in a while and give yourself to somebody other than your children. And that's where the guilt comes in. But I hope you give yourself credit every day. Like, I want you to start practicing this before you go to sleep at night. It's not about an inventory of what you did or didn't do today. Your children are fed, your children are alive. That's a metric. That's an important one. And sometimes there'll be days where I feel like I didn't get shit done. The dishes are in the sink. The laundry I didn't put it in the dryer, because for some reason to take things from the washer to the dryer is hard for me. I'll just wash it again tomorrow. And lately I've just been like, okay, my kids are fed. My kids are happy. They're sound asleep. They're alive, and I'm alive, and tomorrow's going to be a great day. It's go with as little expectation as possible, because we've raised the bar so high that we're seriously depleted and exhausted.
Yeah.
So, so give yourself permission to just honor the little wins and the big wins, and just living through a day as a mother of 6 kids, that's a win, baby. That's a major win.
Fully true.
I have 2, and I'm like, oh, I don't want a third one. Oh, but I want a third one some days.
No, they're just so cute
I
that I
know.
said to myself, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna. I'm turning 37 by the end of this month, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm all set.
No, you're good. You're good. I'm not trying to give you
Yeah.
baby fever again.
No, no, no. My husband like, oh, but a little girl, no, 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 no,
Ah!
you're okay. This is too much. We have
Get
to
out. Nope,
easy.
not today. Not today. Ah! Great spirit. Let's look at an animal spirit forward for Jess. Animal spirit forward for Jess and this journey of self-discovery and self-expression. Swan spirit, time for a deep dive. It's time. And I feel like also one of the things that we need to honor is you know more than you think you know. You know what I mean? I think you also think of yourself as a student, but you've been a student. You know more than you think you know. You just need to trust what you know. Sorry.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's mostly like the overthinking and stuff. It's kind of like I can sit down, someone can tell me the situation, and I can follow through and talk to them. But it's kind of like in the background, I'm like, did I say something to hurt them? Is it okay? Did I not be too blunt about it? And it's kind of like I'm like, oh my god, now my wheels start turning.
Right. Well, I
And
think
yeah,
the more authentic you can be with your readings, and that's really where things shifted for me. I'm not reading from a character. The goal is always, and I set this intention, is to empower people and to help them meet their goals. You know what I mean? And to give them hope. Like that, if you can set an intention with each reading, that's going to come through, the do no harm, if that's also set, that's one of my strongest rules in magic and in tarot. Um, but every once in a while, like I do a lot of delivery readings, and every once in a while, when I don't hear back from somebody, I'm like, oh, I hope everything's okay. Somebody asks, what's the relationship with this guy? Is this going to work out? And I had one where I was like, I've had many where I'm like, this is great. This is wonderful. And I've had many where I'm like, this isn't it, baby, And I'm just honest, like how I would be with a friend,
yeah,
you know,
I understand.
because tarot is honest. So I'm just saying, oh, this is what I'm getting.
Yeah.
And you also have to give yourself permission to, when a card comes up, like the Knight of Wands or Death, it doesn't necessarily have to mean what it typically means. You could be like, what I'm getting out of this is completely different than what people would define it by. And you need to trust that. Like the dare to be wrong is huge. And that's why the practice part is so important. And you can write down the morning reading. You can write down the energy, or you can leave the cards out. And then you can revisit it the next morning before you do the next morning reading, or at night when the kids are asleep. You can be like, oh, okay, that's how that played out. That makes sense.
Understand. Yeah, I might start doing that.
Yeah.
Just
Keep it
yeah, going
simple.
forward.
Keep
Yeah.
it simple. Give yourself credit before critique. And don't expect to be a master right away, but a master just comes from confidence, from time and time practicing to the point where you're like, I got this. I got this. You know?
Yeah. Makes sense. Thank you.
Of course, you're so welcome. And your other job is the other job. But this can be a side business until it develops into something, because I also see that there's an emperor here. You're going to discover things that are your own that you can share. And with the 7 of Cups in the previous spread, I also see that it's not just tarot. There are other things, maybe there's remote energy healing, maybe there's, herbalism, maybe there's so many healing modalities, chakra balancing. There can be so many different things that you integrate into what is your work. And tarot can be that doorway.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, love. I'm
Thank you so
I'm
much.
excited for you. You're so welcome, Jess. And let me know how things play out. Let me know how the daily practice goes. And if you want to join Circle when you're ready and start doing some workshops with me and other tarot people and really learn that psychic work, which is another layer to doing this, which can be incredibly healing, that's available to you
Yeah,
as
I'm
well.
definitely gonna try and I'm gonna look into it again because I remember before the switch over, I was with you guys. I even I did the spiritual awakening with you,
Oh,
and that's
yeah.
how I found out I was pregnant.
Oh, my
Because it
gosh.
was, yeah, it was we had a spiritual awakening, and it was like I was walking through, you were walking me through how to get there, and there was like so much feeling into it, and I even started crying at that point, and I didn't
Hmm.
find out I was pregnant a week later, and I believe I had told you about it. I was like, and then that's when you were like, oh, that's why there were so much like emotions and things
Hmm.
going on because I didn't even know I was pregnant. That was
I
with
love it.
my 4 year old, but it was amazing. It was really
Wow.
good.
Well, I mean, that's the
Like
thing
a year
about
later.
all this work. Like, that's what's so important about tarot and spiritual work and psychic work. I have never seen anything heal a person more than healing the spirit. That's where we get the emotional release. And that's so interesting. 4 years ago, that I would say, oh, that's why there's so much emotion. Now I'm like, yes, give it, let it all go to the universe. Cry, it's
Yeah,
beautiful. Emotional
it is
release is
for sure.
beautiful. That's awesome. Well, thank you so
Thank you
much.
so
This
much.
one, this was wonderful, Jess. I'm excited to hear. Do you have a tarot name yet? Have you thought of one?
No, I have not.
Okay,
I'm probably gonna look into it and see.
I love it. Well, we saw that you're going to have ideas. So just play with ideas with the 7 of Cups. We don't want to be too serious about it. We want it to be fun. We want it to be a name that, you can say and feel good about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sounds good.
All right. Bye, Queen.
Bye.
Hi, Lenny. If I buy the tarot course workbook, will it be enough to do tarot or will I need more classes? So, with the tarot workbook, I would say that it would be enough for you to definitely start your own practice. Um, what we have in the tarot workbook is a foundation of the practice. Basically, when I started reading tarot a million years ago, when I was about 12, I held on every tarot book. Let's see, I don't have any out here. My children were playing with these. But a lot of tarot decks come with books. And the one that I first bought back in the day, it was the Goddess Tarot. I have the book somewhere. It was an amazing book, but it was just filled with so much information about each card. And whenever I would do a reading, I would read everything on the page. And it was really hard to do readings because it would take forever. But I wasn't reading the energy. I was reading the definition. I was reading this. And what I do in the workbook is teach you how to understand the foundations of tarot. It's not so much about in depth what each card means. I give you keys to what the cards could mean. I give you energetic application of the cards as well. So we're not just dealing with definitions. We're dealing with how to understand the energy, how to understand the imagery, and then developing your own practice. There's a few spreads in there for beginners as well. So, when I created it, I wanted to create something that I would have really been grateful for when I first started, because you can read these books and you can try and just do readings because of the book and the definitions, but you will be missing out on just understanding how energy works in the universe. And it doesn't take a ton of information in order to understand, oh, because I could read Swan Spirit and I could go get the book to this deck and define it based on that. But what do I know about swans? What does this picture tell me? What does this imagery say? What's my first instinct? So I do think that with the guide and doing a daily practice like we talked about, just a daily energy read, you can 100% start doing readings right away. Yeah. And that's really everything that I create. I don't want it to feel unfinished. And that's part of my problem, which is why whenever I create a class, it's 2 hours. And so now I've started creating lessons, which are more digestible. But oh my God, I love to nerd out about this stuff. And at the end of the day, everything can be simplified. Everything can be simplified. And then you can use your intuition. You can layer on what you know, and it really depends on the deck that you choose as well. Choosing your deck is very important, and you don't have to have one. I have like 5 different decks, Sometimes I only use one. And my daughters keep messing with them. This is my main girl right here. It's just a Rider-Waite, but it's fancy. It's a little bit fancier than most of them. And I like vibrant decks because I'm able to read the energy a lot faster that way. And there's a ton of decks, but then I also love black and white. I mean, what that picture right there? Whoa. That's a very different strength vibe than I think we had a strength recently. What was it? Oh, it was in the first reading. But like, look at this devil, man. Oh my God. Oh my God. So I give you the foundations of reading tarot, but then you get to use your intuition. You as a person have had so many experiences throughout your life. So you get to start applying, what does the devil mean to you? What does this image say to you? You know, we are highly psychic beings. You know, CIA has put out tons of paperwork saying that people have like 31 senses, psychic senses that we know about, that have been charted, that have been defined, but we don't know how to develop them because we don't trust ourselves as humans. Because we've been told your body is fragile, you know, no, we're not psychic, no, I'm sorry, that's woo-woo. Bull, that's such a lie. That's such a lie. And when I work with somebody, I work with a lot of people who come to me and they're like, I've never really been able to dream. I'm not psychic. And I love working with those people because I'm like, and I've had people in workshops say that at the very beginning, I don't think this is going to work because I'm not psychic. I'm like, everyone is psychic and I will prove it. And it happens every time because it's not me doing something to you. It's me just helping you remember something you were born with, something that we repress in childhood. Because, being a psychic sponge as a child is not always a safe thing. Sometimes we go the route I went, which is into the spiritual world. I mean, I started doing rituals at like 10. You know, I started burning sage at 9 and reading tarot at 12. Like, this was my world because the real world wasn't safe. And some people go way too far into the real world, into the practical. And we need to find that balance between the two. And so I've been striking that balance as an adult and, you know, teaching my children rituals. It's not teaching them magic. It's like, oh, we're going to make a jar and we're going to put our feelings into it and we're going to write down what we want for the day. And, you know, we're going to say an incantation or create whatever we want to say. And it's play. It's play, it's creativity, and we all need it on some level. Okay, things I would like to do for myself and close people. Awesome. Yeah, and that's a great place to start because close members of, you know, your family, your friends, they're going to be honest. And I love when people start trusting themselves. You're going to hear, whoa, I never told you that. You're like, it's what I'm getting. It's what I'm getting, and that's power. And it's not about you wielding cosmic power. It's just you're tapping into something everyone has, but not everyone is brave enough to trust it. So it's wonderful that you're finding this journey at this time. Yeah, I mean, humans are amazing, miraculous. If anyone's interested in a reading, you can go to Cash App or Venmo for 22, and we can dive in. And, you know, I teach tarot. I used to consider it herbalism, but really it's plant magic. You know, I'm a plant magician. and sometimes the most healing plant experiences are not from a tea, they're not from a tincture or a pill. It's from just communicating with nature because it reminds us of our nature. It is the most grounding force on the planet because we're literally connecting to the planet that we were made for. Let's see. I'm getting a text from my husband. Yeah, if anybody else would like a reading, link is in bio. Or no, it's not. It's Mystic Rebels Cash App. Right now, a lot of people are in fear of so much, and I completely understand it. I completely understand the anxiety, but it's orchestrated. It's orchestrated, and most of the time it's a lie because they make us feel like we're just these little cogs, that we have no power, and that's a lie. Yes, trust the great mystery. I love it. If you are feeling like many people are coming to the psychic work right now because things are shifting cosmically, they're shifting for a reason. We have Pluto and Aquarius, we have so many things shifting, and it doesn't mean the end of the world or the end of days, because some people are pushing that shit. Like, okay, the grid's gonna go down, everything, we're all gonna, it's all gonna be bad. Da, da, da. Some of it is going to be hard, but the hardest things happen when we resist change. Okay, I'm not talking about great loss because, yeah, but even after great loss, if we don't move forward, move on, or on upward in some cases, it's very, very hard. And the whale spirit is here telling us that the darkness, the abyss, the things that we don't know yet, there is magic there. There is beauty there. There is, things could be better than we could have imagined. Doesn't mean it's going to be rainbows and butterflies on the way, but it's going to mean that we need to prepare, we need to shift, we need to listen to how the universe is saying we need to change our rhythm in life, especially the women of this earth, because we create the frequency of healing on this planet in accordance with Mother Earth. But we create the space where people feel that they can connect to wholeness. You know, we are that incubator, not just with children, but for this planet. That's what I truly believe. Sup, Sean? Sup, bro? Did you poop today? Did you cry today? Did I poop today? I have not cried today, and I don't think I've pooped today. Yeah, but I will. I will. Not yet, LOL. That's okay. It's never too late. It's never too late. If anyone is interested in a reading, it's Mystic Rebels, Venmo, or Cash App. But I'm so excited for all the people that are interested in astrology, interested in tarot, especially plant medicine, homeopathy. Like, I find myself seeing all these scary videos about, oh, West Nile is in Texas, West Nile is here, killer bees here. Da, da, da. It's like everyone needs to be learning natural ways now, which means I need to get my shit out there. And I'm working on it. I have been working in Canva, and I used to have to do everything one by one, but now Canva has some automations. So I'm able to make some cool stuff now. I'm really excited. And so diving into the plant world, which I think is so important. Not just because I think everyone should be growing plants, but because I feel like we forget that plants and nature hold the mysteries of the universe. All the messages of God are within each plant. You know, messages that we need, and literally God, goddess, spirit, whatever you want to call it. I think it's all one. Everything was put on this planet. All the plants, even the ones that we think are poison, were put here for a purpose. There is no such thing as a plant that does nothing. There's no such thing. There's absolutely no such thing. I love plants. You even talk to your plants. Yes, Jess. Yes. My best friend, besides my husband, is a plant, is an ancestral plant. As a Native American, I have always wanted to work with the 4 sacred plants of my ancestors, which are rosemary, sage, tobacco, and sweetgrass. And now I've worked with all 4 of them. And one of them is a total game changer. And I can't talk about it on here because I've gotten in trouble, because it's the most powerful medicine on the planet. And somebody doesn't want you to know that. I don't know why, but I'm going to be talking about it in Circle. And one of my teachers, she was big on a certain medicine that is also very taboo and was legalized, but now it's not legalized. And it's not a medicine that's really in my practice. even for people going through chemo and that kind of thing that she teaches. But I was very inspired by all the workings that she's done on that plant. And it is a miraculous plant that she works with that I cannot mention, but we can call her MJ for now. And then the plant that I'm working with is one that has been bastardized and put into commercial products, we'll call it, that people, and it's not what nature intended at all. But it's been listed as a carcinogen because if you start to understand that there is an agenda behind most information that we get, you start to think, well, I'm going to look into that. I'm going to experience that myself. And I started to. And it's amazing, amazing medicine. It's amazing medicine. And there are so many plants out there. So many plants. You don't have to do ayahuasca journeys when you know how to just connect to nature. You don't have to have an ego death, as people say. It's not necessary. Do I want one? I don't know. I don't know if I need to trip in order to know that how I perceive the world can be completely wrong. Yeah. And then I think what you're actually experiencing is this perception of the world through the plant, not necessarily an ego death. And that's where I think people get it wrong. You're actually communing with Gaia and you're seeing her perspective of the universe. And of course it's going to be gorgeous and trippy. She's the most gorgeous and trippy thing ever. And then she's working through us, which is the most powerful thing on this planet. That's us, baby. That's us. The plants weren't just created to be here and be alone. So many people are like, we just need to leave nature alone. No, we need to steward nature. Okay? Plants were put on the planet in service of us, and we were put here on the planet in service of plants. It's that cyclical, infinite cycle of we are one. We work together for survival. And we're going to be required to learn that again. We're going to be required to remember that. And the people who know plants and plant medicine are going to be just fine. I truly believe that. Absolutely. Absolutely. I need to go make dinner. Where's my family? Where are you guys? It's 5 o'clock. It's 5 o'clock. Do you know where your children are? Great Spirit, let's look at the energy for the rest of the day for the collective, the people in the room specifically. Energy for the rest of the day. Oh, that's a little heavy. Give me that. Interesting. Interesting. So I love tarot. When tarot, and let's get the focus. I love tarot when tarot seems like, what the fuck does that mean? And I've had many readings where when you're in a state of stress, you could be like, oh no, okay, so things are going to be that way and then that way and then that way. But no, that's not what it's saying. It's saying the energy for the rest of the day is simultaneously all three of these. So when we think of the Three of Swords, we can think of it as something bad's going to happen. Oh no. This is simply emotional release. This is simply, it can be healing from the past. It can be triggers from the past. It can be a multitude of things, but they're anchored by this energy here. So what does that tell us? What situation would be best to use tarot than astrology and vice versa, if that makes sense? It makes total sense. You'd like a reading? If you want to send to at Mystic Rebels at Cash App or Venmo, let me know when you do, and you're welcome to come up and we'll do a reading. When it comes to astrology is great for the situation when people are looking to validate why they're experiencing what they're experiencing and how they can align with the cosmic energies. Tarot goes deeper. Okay? There are different people There are some people who want to see the metrics and have proof. And that's what astrology, specifically alchemistic astrology, my husband's astrology, does. Is it's like, oh, well, this is going into this and this is going into this. With tarot, we're just reading the energies in their raw form and how they're expressing through you, through the situation. It all depends on what we do. That's the difference. So with tarot, we can ask about situations, we can ask about individuals. With astrology, it's more specifically about you and how you're interacting with the universe and other people. You know what I mean? So it's great to do both. I love it because Logan and I have a lot of the same clients, and I love hearing they're like, oh my God, Logan said the exact same thing to me, because he and I don't talk about our client readings. And we both say so much in a reading, especially if it's an hour, that we couldn't possibly remember. And I love hearing that because his work clarifies my work and vice versa. But with tarot, we can go deeper and deeper and deeper. With astrology, we can go deeper into the past as well. And we can do that with tarot as well. So it really just depends on if you're looking for how to see the energy and how it's expressing through the situation, or how it's expressing through you, how the person is expressing through you, how you're expressing through it. Like that, the web of wisdom can come from tarot. Astrology is more finite in terms of what's happening right now, what has happened, you know? And we can ask how we can align with it. Astrology will tell you what to align with. And then action steps are possible because Logan knows how to give that guidance. And so do I. But if you were to ask about a relationship, I would go tarot. I would go tarot 100% of the time. If you were to ask about a situation you're experiencing and like a job shift, a relationship change, you're moving, that kind of stuff, I would look at the astrology because usually you're going through some sort of cosmic shift. Some people are going through Saturn returns. Some people are going through lunar returns, solar returns, all these different things that shift. And it's great to see the universe from multiple lenses. And that's why I love astrology. I'll be like, hey, where the f is the moon right now? And Logan will be like, oh, it's here. Da, 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 da. I got the meatballs. Oh, they're at IKEA. Awesome. Awesome. Glad you're eating. Good. Mommy doesn't have to cook. Even though they're at IKEA and eating food. But you know what? We're just going to let it go. We're going to let it go. It's asking for the last 4 digits of your phone number on Venmo. Oh, that's new. Try. Let's see, what is it? Personal information. Nope. Add phone. Okay. Let me do that. Confirm code. I've never had to do this before. Wait, where'd it go? Okay, try 1764. See if that works for you, love. Never eat at IKEA. I would not recommend it. I'm going to try and not stress about that. No cheese and no wheat, please. And no dessert. Or else. Not the greatest food ever like mommy makes, but it's something, okay? I can make more later. Bacon. Oh my God. But they ate meat and no sugar. Okay. Mac and cheese? That's both of the things she's not supposed to eat. Oh my God. Husbands, you guys. It's not correct. Can you try, you're on Venmo. Can you try Cash App? Oh, that was Cash App. I suck at this stuff. No, I don't. No, I don't. I'm just not practiced at it. Let's see. Oh, I'm not logged in. Right? Do you have Cash App, hun? You think I'll get it? Oh, you're so sweet. I have to log in. Mystic Rebels. Let's see if that works. What's the login? That's what husbands are for. They look so happy. It's the login for Venmo, baby. We're going to make this happen. Oh, you do have Cash App? If you wouldn't mind doing Cash App, that would be easier, but, you know, we can also make this work. Yeah, Logan does all the technological stuff. And there's been times when I'm like, shouldn't I know some of this? He does so much. So much. I couldn't know everything. There's been times when Logan asks me to pull because he can't get to the deepest lens of things. And tarot just, I mean, we can go so deep with astrology, no question. And every once in a while, Logan's telling people on his lives is like, oh, you know, if I do a mini reading, it's going to be general. I told him while I was doing dishes and he was standing there, I was like, nothing is general about what you do. There's no general basic bitch information that you're giving. And he was like, I love when I can make my husband quiet. Because I make him think and he's like, okay. I was like, so don't say that. Don't say that because it's not basic. Ain't no basic B stuff here. Eatmynuts.com. What? That is not what I asked for. My husband just sent me the most stupid text. That's love. Okay, all done? Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for doing Cash App instead. No, all good. Doing another reading. Meow. Sweet. All right. Moonlit Path, would you like to join the live? Feel free to request and you can come up and we will go back and forth. We'll flow with the energy. Get my tiny little dick out. Yes, I said that. Deck. Tiny little deck. Don't know how to do that. Okay, at the bottom of the screen, there's those two little people looking things right next to each other. You press that button and you should be able to send a request. And once you send a request, I can bring you on up. Again, completely understand. For a while, I was watching Logan have people on and I was like, how do you do that? What does it look like? Yeah, I think it looks like two little people, different colors. Let's see. Can I invite you? Wouldn't that be easier? Oh yeah, I think I can. Multi-guest? Invite sent. I just sent you an invite. I just learned something. Let's see. Did you get that, love? I just sent you an invite. Hopefully that works. Hey! We did it! I love it. Just make sure you have your mic on, love.
Is it on?
It is. I can hear you now.
Okay.
Hi, darling.
Anything
What's
else I need to do?
no, just exist. What's your name?
Maria.
Maria. Nice to meet you, Maria. What is your question?
You're awesome. I've just been sitting here listening to you.
Oh, thank you.
I'm going to get a reading from this girl. Yeah, I have all my mini decks too.
I love it. I love mini decks.
Yes.
They're so cute.
Yes.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. What is your question?
Just really just a general reading. I don't have any, maybe business wise, but
Okay, love it. Let's go. Are we talking business or career? Is it your personal business?
yeah.
Okay,
I mean, it's my personal business.
love it.
I'm self-employed. I'm retired, but self-employed.
Love it. Are we ever really retired, you know?
No, never.
Right. Great Spirit, let's look at, oh, that popped out. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So what is it that you do now?
I dabble in real estate.
Okay.
Buy and sell property.
Mm.
Also, I do what you do, which I would like to, that would be another thing that I'd like to know. I've been trying to start a business for many years and just, it falls through every time.
Oh, interesting. Well, we can do that. Yeah, I see that what you do, you know, what we initially asked about was your personal business. And it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah. And even though I think what got you into this is the prospect of creativity. You like people, you know, it's that you call it, like the honeymoon phase of the relationship that you really enjoy, but it's the paperwork, it's the red tape, it's all that just drains you. So by the end, you're not even happy about the experience.
It wasn't all it was cracked up to be. Well, it's a family thing. My dad started. He passed on, and I just with the economy was really good a few years ago, so I ended up selling some property. Like, I live here in Boston, so properties went sky high. They gentrified the whole city.
Wow.
You can sell property for millions of dollars, but the problem is the zoning, that the people that are purchasing have to be zoned, and it takes like over a year.
Okay.
All the red tape, like you said.
Yeah. Yeah. It seems like it's just a lot. I mean, I've looked into real estate because my husband's like, you know, you could be the agent and all that, and we could get into it. But yeah, in this case, there's a lot of red tape. However, I see this with the Ace of Cups at the bottom of the deck. There's a part of you that's still fulfilled by it, and it could be that it's connected to your family. You know, it could be that you know, there is the money at the end. There is the sustaining the credibility, because we have justice here of the business, which is really important to you. You know, doing everything by the book is harder, but it's important to you. You know,
you kind of have to. You're forced to go by the book.
Oh, really?
I mean, it's like they nickel and dime you for everything.
Wow.
Boston is horrible.
Oh no. Oh no.
When it comes to business and trying to get zoned, and trying to do this and it's just,
I mean,
and the incompetence in the public, in the city itself. It's like City Hall will tell you to go to it's called 1010 Mass Ave for development people. And then they'll tell you to go to City Hall, and they'll tell you to go back to, it's like back and forth thing. Like nobody knows what they're doing, so it's like they want you to give up.
Hmm. Is it just you? Because it feels like it's you doing.
Family, it's me. I basically do it because my niece helps me. Um, so we kind of do it together. It's like you said, the red tape, the paperwork,
Mm-hmm.
all that. Dealing with tenants, doing leases. You know, in the past, I've had tenants from hell. That's what you
Right.
have to be careful of. You have to make sure you get good tenants.
I want to ask before we go on to the tarot business. I want to ask how you can make this business easier on you. Great Spirit.
Okay.
Let's look at. Oh, well, that came out right away. Okay.
Wow.
Okay. So we have the Two of Swords, the Six of Swords. Yeah, that's kind of what I was feeling. All right, Mama. You said it was your niece that helps you?
Yes,
We need to give her more responsibility.
she has a lot.
She does? Okay, well then
Yes.
you either need to imbue her with more or you guys need an assistant or and also there are technologies that can help with scheduling, that can help with drafting emails and that kind of stuff, utilizing that, because with the Six of Swords we need to make it easier, we need to make it a smoother ride for you. So utilizing certain scheduling apps, certain communication apps. There's so much out there that you can literally
That's why
craft
she
your
does
life.
it all because I know nothing.
Yeah. Well, and hiring an assistant or hiring a third person or somebody within the family, giving them some
Yeah.
sort of responsibility where their job is literally as a liaison to organize everything. So once it gets to you, you don't have to go down to the office. You don't have to, it's just you sign it, you can talk on the phone, you can go talk to the people, you can do the parts of the job that you like because you've earned it.
Okay, that sounds fair enough.
Yeah. And also with the Nine of Pentacles, we do need to, by hiring out or even utilizing, like there are certain programs that you can pay per month. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a person, although I do feel like a person is going to be better because we still have this Ten of Wands energy of like,
Okay.
it's not just about unloading some of the work, but some of the emotional burden as well. you know so I really feel like a person is needed, and I also feel like you guys can afford it, and it would be a really smart allocation of funds.
Okay.
It basically more of an apprentice rather than an assistant, somebody who's going to also come on board and eventually not just give you support but give your niece support, you know and then again, you guys are so ethical. Like the justice card keeps coming up, and I love that. I love that you guys are so ethical, and sometimes it causes you to sacrifice your own peace to get things done. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Under pressure, and just feeling like we'll just do it. We'll keep going and we won't stop until it's done. And it's like, no, 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 no. Let's slow down a little bit. We already know this is going to take a long time. Okay? We already know the timetable is not on our side. So we don't need to rush every time we move an inch. You know what I mean? So calming the dynamic with your work is really going to help to give you an emotional space to do your tarot, to do other things, to go to the gym, or to go to the spa is really what's coming through. Like, forget the
Yeah, I
gym.
need the spa.
I think we need the spa. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
And a little less, I can fix that. I can do this. I got this, yeah, definitely. And let's look at this tarot business because that's exciting. You've earned.
I was born with the gift,
I love it.
so I'm a medium,
Love it.
and it just I went through I mean I always knew all my life, but then my dad passed away, and it really got me down so bad because he was like our best friend. He knew everything, and when that happened, it's like it exploded. My runs
Yeah.
on both sides of my family, so both my grandmothers, and I'm Sicilian, so it
Oh, wow.
kind of like I'm a strega, so
I love it. Well, and family is
so
huge. Family
yeah.
roots, that's huge in Italian families. My father is in Italy right now with his
Oh yes,
wife who has a family in Taveno. And
okay.
they like the Italian hospitality, there's nothing like it. There's
Yeah,
nothing like it.
if you watched ethnic videos on YouTube about it and they make fun of Italians making fun of themselves, it's true. It's what we are. That's how we are. It's
I've
what
never
we
seen
are.
it, but I
Yeah,
would.
yeah. There's so I don't know if you ever heard of Sebastian Maniscalco.
No, I'm really not
He's a
cool.
new comedian. Look him up. Funny as
Oh,
hell.
wait. Oh, okay, I think I watched one of his stand-ups.
Yeah, one of
He talks about his
yeah,
mom
yeah, he talks about his dad, his mom, like Italians just in
and
general.
his
Like they don't have,
grandma, Sebastian.
yeah, he's just so funny.
Yes, I
And
love this guy. Logan and I have
yeah,
watched him. He's hilarious.
every
Yes.
time it's so everything that he does is true. That's how Italians really are.
Ah, I love it.
It's like the Sunday dinner, the doorbell rings, and people come over, and they just you have all the food out, and you always make extra,
And
and
the
you
women are
always
always in the
stop
kitchen.
by.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah.
I'm
My
Mexican,
mom.
so it's not the same,
Okay.
but
Very
it's
similar.
the food, man.
Very similar.
Always
Yeah.
feeding people.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Absolutely.
Let's look at this gift of yours, Great Spirit as a medium. And it was Maria?
Yes.
Okay. Maria's tarot and mediumship business. Let's look at that. Okay. I love it. Okay. So we had the Two of Swords in the last reading, and I feel like that's kind of a dynamic in your life that you struggle with. Ooh, I'm going to talk about what's at the bottom in a minute. You sometimes see things a little too black and white, and that's survival. That's being a little too practical and not necessarily seeing the spiritual option.
Okay.
With the Two of Swords, we're seeing the eyes covered, and to many people they'll see that as you have to make a choice, but really what's the third option? There's always that gray area where we can work within. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a business right now. It can be a hobby. It can be something that you just fill with joy. Because I see the star here, so it needs to be, you need lightness in your life. You need something that's not too serious, and it can develop. And you can become more of a personality with tarot as a medium, that kind of thing. Like you have that. You have the character. That's in spades. So if you wanted to start doing tarot readings on YouTube, tarot readings on TikTok, or just in the community, you could teach tarot. But right here, the first card that flipped out was the High Priestess. And I love this because she's literally in front of her tarot deck. She's got her familiar there, the cat, and all these books piled up behind her. So with,
That would be me.
yeah,
The books.
I love it. Oh, me too. I was gathering books while
And the
Logan,
tarot decks.
and tarot
I can't tell
decks.
you how many. I must have like 30 of them.
I have like 200. It's ridiculous.
Oh wow.
But
Wow.
it's
I
not
know,
a,
right?
we went through a year where we were just buying them nonstop, and it
Yes.
was too much. But I'm always like, ooh, I have this one. I have this one. It's probably not 200. I think it might be 50 or something like that, but it's never enough. And there's always a new deck coming out, and I'm like, how do I not already have this? But it's trusting that intuition of yours. You have the gift, but you don't always trust it.
That's true.
And there's a little bit of insecurity in terms of taking this public. There's a little bit of an insecurity of not being taken seriously. Because ethics is such an important aspect of every part of your life, but especially your business, there's also a little insecurity there. But we have the gift. We want the main focus of this work, when we really have that desire to do this work, it's not out of malicious intent or to have control over people's lives. It's because we have this gift that we have to share, you know? And I also see the devil at the bottom of the deck. Charging for readings, charging
That's
is,
a problem for me.
that's a big problem for you. Yeah. Asking for value of a house, no problem.
I know. Right.
No problem. Asking for value of your gift, that's a problem. And I get that because for most of my life, I did free readings because I was always told that it was very bad to charge for psychic gifts and to charge for psychic services. And I was like, why? When I think sometimes I'm more valuable than what people would pay for a white coat or some certain experts because their spirit isn't healed. Their spirit isn't addressed, just their body, you know? I mean, what you can do at the beginning is do donation-based readings. You know, you can, for a short time, you can do that until you find, you know what, I'm ready to start charging. And it can be $11. And you can raise your prices as you build that confidence with simply that exchange. Because it's not just about the amount of money for you, it's the exchange. There's a part of you that is primed to just give. I should just give it to someone, you know? Oh, and that's how. Go ahead.
My daughter lives in New York City. Her and her husband, and she has a baby, a 3-year-old. And we went to his friends. He's Puerto Rican, and his friends are all Hispanic. So we were invited to his friend's house for New Year's 2 years ago, and the mom was from Argentina. And I mean, they all speak a different dialect, but they all understand each other. And she didn't speak English, so I was reading her. He had a what do you call it? Interpret for me.
Nice.
And tell her what I was saying.
Wow.
So I have him involved in it too. But it's just, you know, I come upon people and it's like I feel scary.
Mm-hmm.
It's more the mediumship than the tarot. I mean, you don't even use tarot cards. You just look at them and use your intuition.
Yeah.
It's the mediumship that comes through, and you know, it's crazy.
Well, and here's the thing about there's a lot of psychic people who do readings on people without it being asked for, you know, and oh, I know. I'm not judging you. But that also leaves us as kind of an open channel because we don't have those boundaries.
Exactly.
And that can be a problem because it's easier to feel drained. And because you want to share this gift, sharing does not mean giving away, you know. There needs to be that give and take. There needs to be that 6 of Pentacles, that balance between our output and input in the universe. And people need that as well. You know, back in the day when I used to do free readings, they'd be like, I have to give you something. And I'm like, no, I'm fine. You don't have to give me anything. And it was actually more awkward for them when they didn't pay me, which I thought was so funny. I was like, it's fine. No. You know, and then also if they wanted another reading, they felt uncomfortable asking for it. But when there's an exchange, there's more of an understanding. There's boundaries. There's, for both of you, you know, there's a sense of protection as well. There's an understanding that you need within this work, and charging even the smallest amount, at least $11, you know, because you're not new to this. This isn't new. What's new to you is presenting it to the world and taking your authority over this aspect of your gift, you know. I think, and then after the devil, we had do it, baby. We have the Chariot, you know, letting yourself see that other option in the process of it doesn't have to be all or nothing. I don't have to be all in with this one job. And also giving yourself that space with somebody else can handle that. Someone else, we have this new person, we have Sarah or whatever the name is going to be. Sarah, can you handle this? And get comfortable with delegation.
Okay.
Because you're not.
I know.
You're not comfortable with delegation in any aspect of your life. So, yeah, even if you carve out one day a week, just a couple hours. But here's the thing, it's gonna get addictive for you. It's gonna get more and more, I want this. I need this.
Well, it's been like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like on and off, on and off. Every time I try to start something, it's like I get a monkey wrench thrown in. And yeah.
Well, because you see yourself as the fixer. I can handle it. I can do it. Other people will stress and you will come in and you will be the fixer. But when we do that, we also aren't giving other people the opportunity to see that they can fix things too, imbuing them with power. And it's kind of, as a mother, I do it too. I just started stepping back when my daughter asks for things. And I'm like, well, can you get it? And it's uncomfortable.
I know, especially as a mom.
Yeah.
Oh, I know that feeling, believe me.
Because I want to wait on her hand and foot, but I also don't want to throw her to the wolves when she's older and be, she won't know what the world is like if everything is given to her. So
that's the fine line you have to walk as a mom, because you don't want to keep them stifled. You have to let the birdies fly when they reach a certain age. How old are your children?
my oldest is 5.5 and my youngest is gonna be 3 soon.
They're just babies. You have plenty of
They're
time.
babies.
And when they get up there and, when they're like 9, 10, 11, then you got to kind of give them their little freedom.
Oh, absolutely.
But although I don't let them out, I mean, I would never let, I'm like I said, I'm from Boston, literally Boston. And I would never let my daughter out. No, you're not crossing that street.
No.
You're not doing that.
Yeah. It's not the 90s anymore. Yeah.
Right. And she just, we were just talking about it the other day, and she's like, "You never let me do anything." I'm like, "Bro, you see how bad the world is? You let Mateo walk out and be on his own? No."
They can be alone in the backyard. I let them in the backyard.
Yeah. I said, "I'll let you, I will drive you places. You can go visit your friends. I'll drop you up. I'll come pick you up. Blah, 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 blah. But you're not walking streets. That's not going to happen."
Smart. Yeah. I mean, even just being a girl, don't walk alone on the street. Yeah.
Exactly. And the other secret, keep them busy, put them in activities.
She
danced and she skated.
She's gonna start dance next month, and we're doing homeschool, but it's amazing when I don't try to entertain them. They start building forts and start doing all these other things, and I'm just like, oh my God.
Yep, the imagination.
Yeah.
Especially little ones like that.
You have to let them be bored.
And I'm sure you're probably teaching them,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and I mean, but here's the thing about, it's not just motherhood, it's leadership. Leaders need to give people the space to also rise to that strength, and whenever we swoop in and say, I can fix it, because I was a celebrity personal assistant. My job was literally anything they could conceive of. Ashley could figure it out. And I would be like, sure, I can put together, I mean, I'm terrible with electronics now, but back in the day, I put together a whole electronic system for one of my clients for her entire house because she told me to, Well, no, it's unnecessary. And, we didn't have YouTube like it is now. So I just figured it out. I called all these people and made it happen. But there was also no boundaries whatsoever. And I was very much, my value is based on how much other people value me. And that needed to shift, and I still struggle with that.
One of my teachers, who I don't know if you know people like witches and things from Boston or anything, or Salem.
Oh, love it.
One of mine was Laurie Bruno, and that she used to always say, "Don't cheapen the maker." All the time. In other words, get what you're worth.
Love it. Yeah, absolutely. And you define your worth. That's the key, and we want to ask ourselves, especially you on this path, you want to ask yourself, am I cheapening my own experience because I'm not going for the things that I actually want.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind. Thank you.
You've earned it. Let me give you,
Yeah.
I'm Native American, and we believe that animals and nature are medicine and have amazing messages for us.
Oh, no. I have a Materia Medica and a Materia Magica, so.
I love it. Okay, so this is huge, and this is really, I love this because we're confirming pretty much everything we've talked about. Watch and wait. Your job is not to act and fix anymore. Okay? And it's going to be uncomfortable at first, but every shift is going to have those unfamiliar sensations. But the practice of it regularly will become more and more familiar. You're learning to delegate, you're learning to ask for help, you're learning to imbue your employees and other people in your life. This isn't just work where you're a fixer. You know, everywhere, every relationship. Not anymore. Your job is to protect your own energy first so that you don't get drained, so that you don't silently resent people. You know, you'll still do for others, but there is a part of you that's like, oh, come on. Can't they do this themselves? Not unless you let them.
True.
You know? So watch and wait, hold space for others to rise to the occasion. And simultaneously, that gives you space in your life to start doing this and to not necessarily think of it having to be all out. You know, you can have a schedule where you go live a couple times a week when it works for you. And the best thing about the world now is you can literally go live any time of day, even at 2 a.m. And there will be people in England or other places, and some people in the US too, you know?
I know. I used to read for Tarot Hotline.
Oh, fun.
So yeah, it was the same, but yeah, I always went on in the day and it was like hit or miss, hit or miss. So it's like I'm sitting here all day wasting my time, so I stopped it.
Yeah, you want to be more structured with it. So if you set yourself a schedule, you'll stick to it.
Yeah.
If you think of it as, okay, this is my time to do this, I'm going to go do it. And some days it's going to be a great success. Some days you're going to have lots of people. Some days not so much. But the more that you get into a rhythm, people will know, oh, Maria's going to be on. Or what's your tarot name? Or what's your handle?
Right now it's Moonlit Path because that was
going
to be the name of my business.
I love it.
Moonlit Path.
I love it.
And, yeah. I just don't want to go to Salem. Salem's really nasty right now. I try to get places and rent storefronts, and the minute they hear what it's for, they won't rent.
Yeah.
And I just, like I said, I just don't want. Salem has
long history of those issues.
very bad energy right now. Someone came. I'm not going to mention any names, but someone came a few years ago, took over, and kicked everyone out. All the really good witches, except for Laurie Cabot and Laurie Bruno, they're the only ones that are there. But they turned it into this nasty place, and the energy's so bad I won't even go there anymore.
I'm so sorry.
That's why I won't. We say, well, let's just go to Salem. You'll be able to open a shop in Salem.
Well, I don't see you opening a shop. I see you being more of a remote online presence, because that also creates convenience for you.
Yes.
In your own life.
Doing that. And I have to just figure out how to do it and all that good stuff that goes along with it.
Well, remember, with Page of Pentacles, you're going to be a student of how to do it, but absolutely, online is going to be a great way for you. TikTok Studio is pretty easy, but now we have YouTube, so you can literally search anything and figure it out. And also, this is your opportunity to ask the people in your life who know how to do this stuff.
I do. So, just going to find the one person that's familiar with it.
Yeah, or you can send out a family text. You can send out a mass text and be like, hey, who knows how to do this? Who knows how to do this? I need help. You know?
Yeah. That's what the plan is. So, that's awesome. I'm glad I got to talk to you. Your energy is awesome.
Oh, thank you so much, Maria. So is yours.
I don't do this. I don't go on. This is basically the first time.
That means so much to me.
In the background.
That's
I'll
awesome.
stay in the background, and I'll if I really like you, I'll, hit follow. But other than that, I might give you some likes. But other than that, no, I never do this.
Well, I'm so glad you
So,
did. I don't believe in coincidences. I can't wait to see what comes of it for you, and I know great things are about to happen because you have the gift. Yeah. Moonlit path. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, that's just came to me, and it's just, it's crazy.
Yeah, well, it's been your journey, I'm sure,
Mm-hmm.
You are that moon for so many people, that emotional security you create for so many. Now you get to create it for yourself. I love it.
I hope so. But thank you so much.
You're
I
so welcome.
appreciate it.
You're so welcome,
Have a
Maria.
good night.
Talk to you again soon. Take care.
Thank you. Bye. You too.
Bye.
Just correct. It doesn't want to. Why?
Let's see. Oh, there you go. No, I totally get it. I always struggle with this. I tried to do a stitch the other day on a video, and I didn't realize that it was already recording. So then it was just me staring at the screen being like, I decided not to do it. I read in a shop. I will do online when I leave the shop, but I will still rent an office space. Awesome. I mean, that's the beauty of the thing. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. In this case, in this reading, if she were to wait for a space, she would postpone being able to dive into this. The beauty of this world now is we don't have to wait. We can create our own space on the internet, in the ether. You're so welcome. Thank you, Maria, for sharing that space with me, that energy. I have created 35 decks between tarot, oracle, kipper, etc. Yes! Love it! I don't have a kipper deck. I've never gotten into kipper, but yeah, tons of oracle decks, tarot. It is my world. It is my life. Yes, I think you were speaking to me as well. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah, I mean, where we can see, I have this black and white deck, not to see life in black and white, but sometimes when we take all the colors and everything else out, we see the nuance that lives within the black and white. And I just absolutely love this deck. It's available in our Amazon storefront. What the hell is it called? When you have so many decks, but this is one of my favorites. What is it called? We've created a couple of decks too. We've just haven't launched them. And in my tarot classes in our school, I shared the actual cards because we hired the artist and they did a couple decks for us and then they just disappeared. We had this really cool sci-fi deck they were doing and we just couldn't find them anymore. And we're like, oh no, our person. Because I don't want a deck made by AI. Me personally, nope. I think tarot is so incredibly personal. Yeah. What decks have you done? Any ones that we would know? Tarot of the Abyss. That's what this is called. This one's Tarot of the Abyss. And I have a few decks, some of my favorites, on our Amazon storefront if you guys are interested. But then if you're also looking to bring in ritual into your life, I have a ton of rituals that I created on Mystic Rebels. The honey jar spell and the money bowl, those are things that I do regularly. And we need to think of magic and ritual as a way of setting very clear intentions and channeling the future experience that we want to have. Witchcraft has been demonized for millennia, and it's so dumb because we're literally primed to manifest 24/7, and we're simply, scientifically speaking, and we're simply putting intention and attention on the fact that the universe exists and power is through us and all around us, so we might as well tap into it. I always laugh at people who are like, witchcraft is what do they call it? Heresy, or I can't even remember what Christians call it, but yeah, it's not. And I'm not a witch. I do magic, but I don't consider myself a witch. I love witches. These are my little witches that my daughter was looking at earlier, and I was like, I've always loved witches. I'm developing a children's book with a little witchy, but I'm a human being. I'm just a human. And I've learned that we don't have to put ourselves into a box. You know, you can identify as a witch or a warlock. I don't care. But we're just human beings who tap into magic effortlessly when we make it a part of our lives. It just, and life should be more whimsical and magical. And so many of us are stressed and depleted because we don't know how to care for ourselves, because we haven't been taught how to truly care for ourselves as a human being. And that's one of the reasons why I created a whole course on what a human being actually is, all the way down to understanding the energy and how it expresses through us. And, you know, we're not just a body. We are so, so much more. And it took learning about plant medicine to really take me down this path of, oh my God, we're amazing. Like, my job is not just to teach you how to heal yourself, it's to teach you that you can. That it's already there. Everything that you need is already there. Yes, I am a human being, not a human doing. I love just being. Yes! Yes! Love that. Yeah, Zen Jen, do you have this one? These are the best. Yeah, and then the decks that we have a really cute one as well, with little chibi bears that we developed. And we want to rent a space because we want to get them printed. And then when you buy them in bulk, it's much cheaper than to have them printed each time. Otherwise, they're super expensive. I do not, but like the black and white art. Yes, me too. Right? We're literally individual walking universes of our own heartbeat rhythm. Absolutely. And the first language that we actually learn is of the heart, because it's the first organ that forms. You know, that's why one of the things that I teach, when I started learning clinical herbalism, they always said, okay, we heal the nervous system, we heal the lymphatics, we focus on that. But in my system, we heal the heart. We have to heal the heart and our relationship to love, our relationship to receiving and extending to the universe. And that's where we see massive healing. You created the black and white deck. No, I didn't create this one. No, in our school, I have a few classes where, also in the tarot PDF, in that workbook, that has our first deck, the Tarot of Light. What did I call it? It's been a few years. Oh my gosh. But yeah, that it's very, very vivid. And I absolutely, it would be my favorite tarot deck if we could get it produced, which is a plan. It is a plan. And we're just so sad that the artist disappeared on us. And I know that happens. You know, every artist has their ebbs and flows. I like to think that they got a really big gig and they no longer have to be on that app because they're just so huge now, rather than thinking that something terrible might have happened. Have you read about Saint Hildegard of Bingen? Hildegard, that sounds very familiar. Why does that sound so familiar? Saint Hildegard of Bingen, patron saint of musicians, writers, natural scientists, and ecology. Oh, very cool. Areas of patronage. I mean, I was raised Catholic, but I don't know the saints. That is not my my specialty. Plants, magic, gods and goddesses, other religions, paganism, that kind of stuff. Native American lore, shamanism. You know, that's my jam. I don't know a lot about saints or angels even. She was a nun who the clergy was afraid of. She does all that. Love it. How to get a reading? Hi, Jamie. Let me just double check that my husband isn't home yet. Can I do one more? I will tell you in just a moment, love. I don't know if they're home yet. Problem. Okay, 100%. I have the best husband. So if you go to Cash App and do Mystic Rebels, Venmo wasn't working before for some odd reason. But yeah, if you go to Cash App, that is what is best. She was a nun and a mystic. I love the mystics. I read about mystics when I was much younger, and I was very saddened at their experience and how we view spiritual discovery as kind of like self-flagellation, torture, that it has to be this struggle, you know. I really got inspired to do this work many years ago because there was a spiritual teacher out there. She's huge. Her favorite color is teal, wink. And she was talking about, I mean, she said a lot of poignant things, but this thing that made me very uncomfortable with this person is she doesn't speak with emotion, and that's okay. But I really think that the work that she was doing was highly unethical because all these people were getting more and more depressed, and she was teaching that spiritual altruism, you know, it comes through re-experiencing trauma and digging up old wounds. And I'm like, bullshit. Our job is to bring people into the light. If they're coming to us, they've been in the dark already, you know, and knowing the science behind trauma and how people process it, it's not necessary for them to re-experience it at all. She composed music, was a healer. Love it. I was, she sounded vaguely familiar. Hildegard, I think I have a poet. Was she a poet? I think I have a book of her poetry, if that's who I'm thinking of. Jamie, I got you, girl. Or if you're a girl, sorry, I didn't know. Yes. Okay, then yes, I do. I have a book of her poetry. I completely forgot she was a nun, and I knew that she was a mystic. And that's what I used to consider myself. Back in the day, in my 20s, I was a performer. I did musical theater. And I was in a car with a bunch of other performers and one producer who was a pretty big deal. And they were all talking about their religions. And somebody said that they were an atheist. And then they asked me, and I said, well, I would consider myself a mystic because I think there is so much to this world that isn't quantifiable, but is something that can be experienced. And the producer was like, okay, where did you come from? Because nobody knew that I secretly did all my witchery stuff and spiritual stuff, and I was such a nerd for all these things. It was very, very secretive. Unless you came into my room, you didn't know. And I remember that moment of him seeing me and really feeling seen. And not that I was like, oh yeah, I impressed you, but it was more like, that was so real. That was so honest. And that felt so good. And look at that reception of somebody being like, all right, okay. That meant so much to me. And later on, when we came up with Mystic has been, I've always loved the stories of the mystics. And I just never felt like it had to be so hard. And that's why Mystic Rebels is here to teach people that life can be so much easier when we tap into the magic that's at our disposal, at our fingertips. And the universe is just like, take it, just fucking take it. I thought you would enjoy reading about her. Oh yes, I would love to read about her. I have her poetry and it's incredible. And then I have another tarot book that talks about her as well. There's some lore behind tarot as well that she's involved with, and I can't remember. I read it years ago. Jamie, would you like to come up and guest so we can go back and forth? I've received your payment, love. Do you know how to guest? We simply, at the bottom, and I'm really not great at explaining this, there's the little people, the two little colored people. And you just press that and it says, or no, I found out I can send you a request. Wait, I did that last. Oh, I see. It looks like you can't come up, but that's okay. If you're comfortable just staying in the chat, we can do that. No worries. Yes, thank you so much, Maria. Thank you so much for telling me that. I have that book. We were talking about your books being piled up. I'm obsessed with books. Obsessed. Okay, great, Jamie. What's your question, love? Let me move this over here so I'm looking at you more during the reading. There we go. What is your question, darling? We're just cleansing and regrounding. And it's very important to cleanse your decks. And I have found nothing better, and I've tried everything within reason. I don't know, maybe there's something out there that I haven't tried, than sound cleansing. It is fast, efficient, and it is always, let's see, are you ready to work, baby? Are you ready to work, baby? Or do I need a new deck? Strength. Okay. That's fine. I got you. I got you, girl. Yes. Okay. Okay. This isn't as tiny of a deck, but it's still small enough. We'll be able to see it on the screen. And this is one that my husband got me. It was one of the early tarot decks that I got. Hello, baby. We're working with Jamie today. Just finished my entrance registration in the nursing program. Let's look into that. Oh, okay. Yes! Yes! I love that you knew what it was. Yes, this is the Third Eye Tarot. It is one of my... I love it. I love it so much. I'm really into pastels. Mommy likes pretty things. But I also love a deck that you feel held, but also there's deep truth spoken. It's an accelerated program. Okay, let's look into that, Ben. All right, are we ready? Yeah, let's go. Okay, Great Spirit. Jamie just entered the nursing program. Let's look at this experience. Let's look at the energy between Jamie entering this nursing program. Let's look at this nursing program, Great Spirit. Okay. It feels a little heavy. Yeah. Interesting. So Jamie, entering this program, it doesn't feel like you're making this decision out of joy. Does this feel like it's going to be a job more than a passion for you? What I'm seeing is I think we need to shift our perspective of what this experience is going to be. And there are going to be aspects of it that you actually don't really mesh well with. So what... Oh, I thought something came through. So what I'm seeing is we need a different perspective. With the Six of Swords, it can be much easier if you let it be something that you can find joy in, something that you can take less seriously. I feel like there's a lot of pressure you're putting on yourself. It's both. It's just also happened to be that we are moving with my mother-in-law too. Oh, okay. Okay, so there's just a lot happening at once. And I think if you can let this be more of a joyful thing, it can still be very practical. But there are going to be things and moments in this program where you're going to say, I don't agree with that. Instead of feeling like that's friction between you and the job, I want you to see it more as, I'm going to take this accreditation, I'm going to take this program, I'm going to get the credentials, and then I'm going to do maybe something different with it. I feel like you're going to be led down a different path. I would also have to quit my job too. That's all happening so fast. Okay. This is going to be ultimately, if you can take this not so seriously. Again, that's what's coming through for me. You want everything to be accurate, correct, and you want everything to resonate with what you feel is right. That's not going to happen with this program. You aren't going to necessarily be learning about healing. You're going to be learning about strategy, about procedure, more about procedure. And I want you to know that that's okay. There are a lot of people who take, if you're becoming a registered nurse or, nurse credentials, and they apply it to something else. So I'm seeing that this isn't going to be enough for you, but it's definitely going to be something that gives you enough confidence to start your own practice or to start something that is more unique to the way you see healing, or what you can bring to healing. I also feel like it's very uncomfortable for you to be a student. But let's clarify that, because with the Five of Pentacles, I see that there's going to be stress on money, and that's why you're rushing through it. And it makes sense that it's a big friction time for you. Fives are friction, but friction can be good. We have to remember that snakes in particular, when they shed their skin, they go through this phase of constriction where the skin gets so tight around them, it feels like they're going to die and they can't breathe. Like they're not freaking out, but it's like, I can't move, I can't do anything, I'm stuck. But that's an illusion, because they're going through a transformation, and then that skin comes off and they're just this beautiful new iteration of themselves. They've leveled up and they have to let go of that skin. This is kind of the transformation that you're going through right now. It's going to be uncomfortable at times, but if we can see the friction, if we can see the struggle as opportunity, as, okay, this is presenting itself to me because I'm meant to change as a person. This is going to change you. This work is going to change you. Don't resist it. Don't resist the part of you that feels like this is wrong. Don't resist the part of you that feels like I can do this better. Don't resist the part of you that feels like this might not be the right fit for me. I want you to listen to those parts of you and think of this for what it is: credentials. This is legitimacy. This is something that you can take and you can use it. When someone says, what are your credentials? Well, I'm a registered nurse, or I went to nursing school, and then this is just the beginning of you becoming an authority in this work. Best tarot card reader. Aw, thank you. And I see a lot of good coming from this. Friendships will be formed. You are going to have teachers that you're going to respect. And there's going to be asides, if you know what I mean by that. As you learn, there are going to be things that your teacher will say that isn't necessarily on the curriculum that you're going to mesh well with, that you're going to be like, oh, okay. When they speak about personal experience, when they speak about what they know to be true through their mastery, that's going to pique something in you. That's going to inspire something in you. This is a very brave thing that you're doing right now. And I just want you to see it as not the end goal. The credentials here is not the end goal. The end goal is what comes from this experience, which, let's see that. And I want to see it in black and white. Great Spirit, let's look at this energy of what comes from this nursing credential, this nursing experience. Give me that. Yep. Comes from this nursing credential, this nursing experience. Oh, interesting. Love it. And what do we got at the bottom? I'm going to save for what's at the bottom for a second, because the way I teach tarot is at the bottom of the deck, we have the undercurrent of everything. So that's really the clarification of everything that's out here. And I'm going to save that because it's awesome. When it comes to this experience, you deal with a lot of insecurity and fear. And the moon isn't necessarily about So many people will teach that the moon is about fear, the moon is about reflection, but in your case, the moon is this meshing of two selves. The version of you that follows what she's told, the version of you that thinks that she has to adhere to a certain understanding in order to do or be a part of a certain industry. And with the moon, we're also taking our feral side and our side that society accepts. You know, in the Rider-Waite, you have these creatures under the moonlight, and they both are one. Everything in the tarot stems from the beginning. So all the water comes from the high priestess and flows through the entire experience. The moon handles the water, okay? She is managing the water on this planet. So we need to understand the emotional current of how we're processing everything. If you can process this on your feral side, and I want you to get more feral. I want you to be less uncomfortable with what you don't know, and I want you to feel into every time you're like, that doesn't sound right to me. That's not what I would do. Reminding me of your course microbiology. Oh, interesting. Example, what I sent to see a doctor and he spoke the medical language. I was OMG, I missed school. Well, and that's the other thing. You are not necessarily wanting to be a lifetime nurse. So nursing can be great. Nurses are amazing. But I don't know if you've seen a lot of nurses as they age, they look drained, you know, and many of them have to work against what they're told, against protocol, because they know what's right. You're not going to be comfortable enough to stay within that specific aspect of the industry, but you're going to take this credential and you're going to create something more unique. You're going to embrace that feral side that thinks, I can do this better. And it's something that I went through as well when I was studying clinical herbalism. And my husband was saying, you need to teach this. You need to teach this. And I was like, I'm not a master yet. I've only been doing this and studying for like a decade or so. These people have been doing it for 40 years. He's like, but you understand something they don't. They're all teaching the same thing. They're teaching the clinical side. You understand the spirit. You have to address that. And I think you're better than them. And that's just my husband, you know, and I'm like, shut up. Okay, whatever. And you need to engage in that champion voice within you. So getting comfortable with what you don't know, but also what could be behind the not knowing. I've had struggles learning my entire life. Some things came so easily. I always thought there was something wrong with me. But now what I teach my students is we have anxiety around learning and we have to listen to that anxiety. Is it coming from fear? Is it coming from resistance? Or what is it coming from? For me, I was not meant to be a mathematician, okay? I was not meant to learn science the way it was taught. So I had a really hard time learning science. I now have an understanding of science that includes the spirit. And I was able to learn that by studying Ayurveda, traditional Chinese medicine, and applying what they didn't say from a shamanic perspective and creating my own vision of healing and the human body and so much more. You are a miraculous being and you have ideas. You have a perspective. You do not have to agree with everything. There's going to be a balance of give and take with this whole experience. But what's going to come from it is the ability to create something that is your own. We have the King of Pentacles. With the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, we're dealing with feeling like we don't know where to go after this. However, if you create something authentic, if you embrace that feral side, that part of you that's like, I'm going to try something, it's going to be different. Maybe I made a friend in school and they also do massage therapy or something like that, but you're going to be creating something with people, either remotely or an actual place where people go, that is going to be very different, that starts a whole new journey. And I want to clarify this Knight of Pentacles just to get that extra layer. Great Spirit, let's clarify that Knight of Pentacles regarding that move after the class. Okay. So the Hierophant, we're going to higher knowledge. We're going to that higher mind. We're not done with our education. That's really important. You're not going to be done with your education. You're still going to be able to apply it, but you're not done. You might be going into chiropractic work. You might be going into something a bit more. I'm not necessarily sure if it's holistic. That's the vibe that I'm getting. But it's something different. It's not nursing. Nursing is scratching the surface for you. Nursing is superficial in terms of how far you want to go and how deep you want to go into healing, but it's necessary. Okay. Now, I understand that can be frustrating because, God, what was that reading? Years ago, I got a reading where I was like, oh, okay, this is going to be it. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be a clinical herbalist. And the cards were like, no. And I was like, what do you mean no? How could it be? How could it be no? And there was so much information that I got, and I kept pulling cards, and I was like, okay, none of this is making sense to me at all. How? And it wasn't until I got to that moment that I realized, oh shit, this is the shift, this is the change, and I'm not going to resist it. So that snake-like experience is going to be a bit longer than this accelerated program. But at the end, you're going to be like a king cobra, baby. I mean, you're just scratching the surface of how far you're going to go. Yeah, microbiology, that's awesome. I remember when I took anatomy in school, like learning about anatomy in school versus learning about it from my teacher. And that's the other thing with the Hierophant here. Let's clarify, Great Spirit. Yeah. Finding your teacher is going to be the hard part. And it's not necessarily hard because I had a hard time finding teachers. I went to several schools and I worked with masters. Then one of the biggest masters, I've read his books. I was so excited to be a student. And I could not learn from the man at all. The way he taught, it was just monotone and it didn't make any sense because he was talking about things that I hadn't learned yet, but speaking as if I already had. And he was speaking in a language that I hadn't learned yet. And so I couldn't learn from him. And it took me a while to find my teachers, the ones that spoke through the spirit and that I needed emotional stories and human connection in order to apply the information, because otherwise it was just data. It was just stuff that I was taking in and beating myself up for not understanding. And one day I told my husband, I was like, I have listened to this class 6 times. I have taken this class 6 times. Every time I go to the lesson, the quiz, there are questions in there that don't apply to what they talk about in the class. And he was like, why are you even learning from them? You're better than them. I was like, okay, I love you. Just shut up. But he wasn't wrong. It's not that I'm better. It's that I needed something that fit me more. I needed a teacher that spoke my language. So, even when I go to teach people, I'm not interested in people who just want to be taught, to just want the facts. That's not me. I wouldn't want to be that teacher for you. I need people who actually want to have that connection to the material, that emotional connection. So one of the reasons why, the more in alignment, absolutely. One of the reasons why you're going to feel that resistance is because some aspects of this program feels impersonal to you. And you're going to be making personal connections, which is great. You're going to be taking the information and then you're going to be learning so much more. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see where this goes. But again, we're just scratching the surface because at the bottom of the deck, we have the sun. Woo! We have the actual sun in this deck. So we are heading towards a new sense of vitality, a new sense of being seen in the world, because this is how we show up. This is how we shine. You are on your way to finding how you shine in this world. And we can only shine if we're being authentic. And so many of us think that we have to fit into a box. I used to think the same way with clinical herbalism. And then I was like, what if I did shamanic herbalism, traditional Chinese medicine, Ayurveda? What if I did all of it, and tarot and energy healing? And could I do that? Could I do that? Yes. And I do psychic healings, and I teach people tarot, and I teach people so much. And it's like, you get to create your life. Your career is an extension of you, and it doesn't have to go one path. It's going to lead you on this road of finding where you feel like you can shine. And that's where I am right now. Doing this work, I've never felt more energized by something. And that's also the sun. You know, if you were to go into nursing and stay there traditionally, and I want you to fight that urge as much as possible, you would lose that shine over time. I want you to head towards the light. Am I a Pisces? Actually, well, in alchemistic astrology, technically my sun sign is a Pisces, but it expresses through Scorpio. I have a ton of Scorpio energy. So transformation, trauma, death. I've died. That was fun. I died giving birth to my second daughter. I lost my mother 2 days before I found out I was pregnant with my first. My sister unalived herself when I was just starting. It actually is what kickstarted my Saturn return. That was fun too. You know, so loss, trauma, medical imbalances, and seeing the vantage of medical application, I have to be careful what I say on here, versus actual healing. Like, that's been a journey for me, because I started out doing medical research, and then I found herbalism, and I thought clinical herbalism, that's going to be it. But the most healing medicines I've ever seen are essence medicines, things like flower essences, plants that you don't even take, plants that you just talk to. Like, it's just, my world has been blown open, and then I've brought fragments of the universe together to create my experience on this planet. And you get to do the same thing. You just have to give yourself the permission. So your sun sign is a Pisces and ascendant Scorpio. No, in alchemistic astrology, so my sun is in the 8th house. So its true expression is through Scorpio in the 8th house. And then the decan counts. And then my rising is Leo, natally. But I'm a 3rd decan Leo. And, you know, it, like, real astrology, what my husband teaches also in our school, really helps get through that lens of, oh, you're a Pisces. The reason why people can't usually tell what your sun sign is because you're not your sun sign. Your sun sign is important. It's where you shine, but it has multi-layers. You know, Scorpio is more of the expression of my sun, but it's again through Scorpio. So that means it's Piscean energy that expresses through Scorpio. So it's that spiritual energy that I have to take, and I have to use it to transform something. So I'm not necessarily creating something new. I'm taking things that I've either spiritually experienced or had spiritual channels or something like that, and then I'm transforming it into something that I share with the world. Right? I am definitely more Sagittarius than Pisces. Very cool. Very cool. But again, you're not a sign. Like, that's the cool thing about astrology, is you are so much, but we use these cosmic entities to understand how the universe is expressing through us, and not just the natal chart. We have to look, I'm a progressed Libra rising now. I've gone through 3 ascendant flips. That's something that my husband coined. And your ascendant flips are huge. Oh my God. I was a Virgo rising from 8 months until I was 38, 39. Yeah. Math, numbers, not my strength, unless it's in tarot. I can remember those. Sounds like exactly what I'm doing. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. Even we thought about me working in Thailand, where my husband wants to retire part-time. I love that. I love that. And that makes sense. You know, Thailand, you're intermingling with completely different cultures. And when you go to places where there is poverty, like true poverty, you can find some amazing healing avenues, because it's out of necessity. People realized, oh shit, we can't just heal the body. We actually have to address the spirit. And that's why in the Western world, we consider it woo-woo. Oh, you know, they're pulling energy out from the body. It's so ridiculous. No, it's not. No, it's not. And some of it isn't ethical. So, be careful. But using your intuition and seeing what you can create with others, I do see collaboration being a big part of your journey. And again, just having that credential is enough to take that knowledge and then expand it. Like, who knows, maybe your teacher is in Thailand. And we don't just have one teacher, we have many. I found Rosemary Gladstar, who was like the fairy godmother of herbalism, and she started talking about spiritual stuff. And I was like, wait, what? What? And actually, my first teacher, it was the Institute of Herbalism, Matthew Wood's Institute of Herbalism, really long one. That's the one I didn't mesh so well with. Great respect for the man. He's brilliant, master, no question, but I just couldn't learn from him. And every once in a while he would say something like, oh, the shamanic aspect or the bear medicine, or somebody would ask a question because it was all lives. And they would say, what is the spiritual properties of that plant? And he wouldn't answer that question. I was like, wait, what? Spiritual signatures of plants? What? And that's when I got piqued, and I was like, okay, like my nerd got turned on, and I found that avenue, and it led towards the spirit and how that expresses through me, teaching people how to heal themselves, working with subconscious programming. Like, everything is a bandage solution if we don't deal with the soul, with the spirit, with the root cause. Yeah. Oh yeah, Rosemary Gladstar is amazing. But it was actually my favorite teacher. Lise Wolf was another one who was just so brazen, and she just taught, man. She just shared what she knew. She shared experiences, and she wasn't necessarily spiritual, but she had a spiritual connection to the medicine, and I loved that. And then she talked about emotional signatures, and I was like, what? And that's a big part of my healing system, is everything is rooted in emotions. So as we go through this whole experience, the moving, everything, I think we need some surrender to intuition and to have as much joy from these experiences as possible. If you've ever been in pain and you focus on the pain, you focus on the struggle, that amplifies the problem, that makes it feel way worse. As someone who's given birth twice, and I have a very high pain threshold, the other day my daughter punched me in the face accidentally. We were just playing, and she's barely 3, and she has no concept of how strong she already is. She's a big baby, and it hurt, but I didn't want to react strongly in front of my baby because she immediately was like, I'm sorry. I was like, it's okay, honey. It's okay. So instead of focusing on it, I was like, you know what? Mommy's just going to breathe. Will you breathe with me? Let's talk about something else. I'm uncomfortable. It hurts, but it's going to be okay. And I focus on something else, because where your focus goes, energy flows. And I'm modeling that, teaching her that. Logan, if he gets like a little splinter or like a little pain, he's like, oh God. But I'm like, okay, they need to know how to be resilient under discomfort. And he's just like that when it comes to like pain, in any kind of discomfort, physical discomfort. He's just like, I love him so much. It's adorable. And I'd be like, okay, take a breath. What do you need? And he's like, God, this sucks. And I'll make jokes about, how I've been in labor, and how he doesn't know real pain. And he's like, I don't know. Have you ever been hitting the balls? I'm just like, I know you're messing with me right now, and it's not funny. But the whole point is, if we can align with a different focus through the discomfort, we can find that it's all for a purpose. We're leading you towards your purpose. All right, Great Spirit. I wanted to clarify her move and everything. Okay. Yeah. Love it. I want to say one more thing to you, Jamie, regarding this journey. You are smarter than you realize. Now, I know you think you're you can learn things. There's a difference between intuitive learning and the intelligence that you can apply from that versus just knowing facts. We show our intelligence when we take information and we can transform it, or we can apply it to something different, or we can have new thoughts, new ideas around it. This is going to spark that within you, this journey that you're going on. And I want you to follow it. Follow the sparks towards the sun. Okay? And yes, because we've got the Chariot right here. The Chariot is like, fly, baby. And she's actually flying towards the sun. Yes. But this Queen of Swords, she is holding her head against the sword. There is going to become a moment where you trust what you know and you don't question it. And that's where you're heading. We've got the Eight of Pentacles as well. There's a mastery there, something that you're creating yourself. And at the bottom, we have the Nine of Pentacles. This is totally an authentic journey. Let it be that. Yes. Yes, they are heavy-handed. Oh, yes. My 3-year-old. Oh my God. She's a big girl. She's a big girl. Mama is... I have to get stronger, man. I got to get stronger. That's the only choice with your children. Physically, emotionally, spiritually. If there's a moment where you feel like you can't carry what they're giving you, just get stronger. And let's clarify with an animal spirit for you, Jamie, on this journey, on this healing mastery journey. Master healer for Jamie. Oh, I love it. I love it. So we're talking about your wisdom here. We're talking about wisdom. We're not talking about information. This course is a lot of information, but it's going to spark that need for knowing. And knowing is a spiritual sense. There is a moment when you just know something, when it just feels right. That's the resonance that we're looking for on this journey. I want you to follow that need, that desire, and that metric in your life of this journey, because you're going to become a master healer. You see clearly now. I love it. And that's where you're heading. That's what your focus. An owl can fly in the dark. And I don't know if you've ever seen or heard an owl fly, but it's silent. They are mostly feathers. They are these beautiful, fluffy creatures, but underneath, if you were to get them wet, they're so tiny and small. And I think sometimes you forget how epic you are. An owl is freaking epic. I was right before the LA fires went off, like a day before, I was breastfeeding my daughter to sleep on the couch, and I didn't have my glasses on, and I saw something on the fence right outside my house, and I was like, is that a raccoon? And I stood up and I went to the window, and it was an owl staring right at me. And I was like, okay, spirit, okay, something's coming, and I need to keep my eyes wide open. I need to be ready. Okay, but I'm not going to follow it with fear. I'm going to follow it with the feeling of knowing and trusting, because an owl doesn't second guess itself. Owls are just miraculous creatures, just like humans. And they are very spiritually, there's a lot of lore around owls and spiritual gateways, and birds in general have the power to fly between the realms. They go behind the ether. They send messages. They are these beautiful, we can go to Harry Potter as well. There's a reason why owls are the ones that send the message. They are a metaphor for that spiritual power of going and sending messages. We can send it to nature. When you have moments of despair or fear, I want you to give it to the birds. I want you to go outside, tell them your problems, and say, help me, show me the way. And they will. Give it to the birds. I love it. Owl spirit. And hold this totem with you on this journey. If you need a picture of an owl to carry in your book, but anytime you start to feel insecure, anytime you start to feel that friction, I want you to head towards that sun again. I want you to remember this owl. Yes. Love it. Thank you so much, Jamie. I hope that resonated. And I know we're talking about something that hasn't happened yet, but it's going to unfold beautifully if you allow yourself to follow that knowing feeling and the desire of that internal spiritual knowing that will not come from a textbook. It's going to come from experience. Yes, wow, the journey. Yes, Queen. I can't wait. I mean, I'm excited for you. There's been many times in my life where I'm like, oh my God, this is so much at once. And instead of letting it carry me away and towards this feeling of, I don't know, how am I going to do this? Da, da, da. And trust me, I've had those moments. I'm human. I'm not here to be like me. I never stress. No, that's not real. We're humans. But sometimes we forget our power, forget our strength, and forget to head towards the light. And every time I flip that script, if you feel friction, if you feel fear, it's a lie in this experience for you. So trust what feels true. Trust it. Yes, I believe in experience. Yes, Queen. And you're going to become a master healer. Can't wait to see what that looks like. Yes. Can't wait to recommend you or go to Thailand and experience it, if that's where it ends up. That's a whole nother reading, but we're not there yet. We're not there yet. I'm so excited for you. Thank you so much for sharing this. How do we see information about your school? Oh, the school is at mysticrebels.com. When you go to the website, and in our school, we have everything that I teach, everything that my husband teaches. It's one membership, and we also have study groups for tarot and astrology. Amazing students. It's an intimate community because we want it to be a place where people are growing. We want it to be a place where people are growing. It's not a Facebook group. It's a place where we have deep introspection and respect for each other. And we've cultivated a safe space for people to do that work. Yeah. And you get everything. You get everything. Yes. And I also have, if the school doesn't feel right now, I also have a lot of digital downloads for rituals. The Sweet Worth is the honey jar spell, which I teach my students. We've done those in rituals. We do full moon rituals. I love full moon rituals. And Logan's like, the full moon isn't what people think it is. And it's true, but I still love the full moon. Maybe because I'm a woman. I don't know. And there are so many rituals that I've created. And then there's the 30-day journal that's called The Art of Becoming. It's a 30-day manifestation journal. And I think that that's a great place to start to understand how to rewrite that subconscious programming, that who you are unconsciously and subconsciously is based on the environment you were raised in. From age 0 to 7, we're in a brain state of theta. So we are just spiritual sponges. And out of survival, many of us who've experienced trauma early, hey, we learn survival techniques. And then as we grow up, we maintain those patterns into our relationships, into our careers, into every aspect of our lives. And then eventually we find ourselves in a state of survival. And that's when we have chronic illness. I've had so many clients be like, out of nowhere it happened. And I'm like, it's never out of nowhere. No, the body is resilient, but you keep sending the signals of stress and that it's not powerful, and it's going to respond in kind, and I think that subconscious alignment is the most important work that we can do. And it's all about empowering you. And ritual does that. Ritual does that. Manifestation is something that we all have the power to do. And what you think you are is what you become. So, if we fixate on the stress, if we fixate on the lack, that's validation of the pattern. And the universe will be like, okay, give her what she's saying. Because the universe will just resonate whatever we're putting out. That's just the law of resonance. And once we understand how the universe works, it gets so much easier. But it takes unlearning. It takes rewiring ourselves and realizing maybe I don't have to put out so much before I feel like I can ask for anything back. Maybe I don't have to feel like money takes effort. Maybe there's a way to make life easier. The answer is always yes. The answer is always yes. Yeah, and I'm also going to start doing more long form readings on YouTube. I'm going to be doing forecasts and that kind of stuff. I'm so glad you guys found us. And thank you so much for sharing energy with me. You guys are awesome. And I also do have the Alchemystic Tarot Guide in here. it's a wonderful place to start, and you can absolutely, if you're not somebody who wants a ton of information about tarot, I'm a nerd. So I'm like, give me everything that you have, and I'll take what I like and leave the rest when it comes to tarot. But I was never able to learn tarot from anyone because it was always, they would teach you definitions and then they would say, okay, Stella is getting a new job, and how is this going to go for Stella? Well, Stella's not freaking real. This is a fake scenario. This isn't tarot. This is memorize what tarot could be. And, that's not what I teach at all. And the most important thing is that you learn how to trust your own intuition, your own energies, and your own vision of that truth. Because then you can do anything, really. Within reason, of course. We still have practical application that we have to deal with, but, I will be your fangirl spiritually, 100%. And that's in our school. We can do one-on-one reading as well. I also specialize in helping people heal themselves with chronic illness. That's my jam right there, because I experienced my mother's battle with cancer for 20 years and realized something wasn't right about that system. Something wasn't right about the system that was supposed to be helping her. And that's where my necessity for what I do really came from. There's still a part of me that has that wound that's still trying to save her. But what I didn't know back then, I know now, and I can imbue people with a power that I wish I could have given to my mother, but never would have, because I had to lose her in order to feel the need to take up this space in this universe. Yeah. It led towards a purpose, 100%, but it was uncomfortable. Yep. But I'm here now. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to go not eat IKEA food. I'm going to make myself some food. And I will be on live tomorrow again. And I hope to see you guys then. Vibe higher, everybody. How do I end the live? There we go. Bye. And now, oh wait, see, this is the technology stuff. This is not my strength. End streaming.